Yay! It's episode 100 of Magnificent Mondays. Welcome to the show. Let me get sorted. And this week we're doing, for a special thing, upside down, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Not Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, just Raiders of the Lost Ark, the first Indiana Jones film from 1981. I thought that'd be fun, so that's what we're going to do. Right, but before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. Right, we should be live on the various platforms. Yes, we're live on YouTube. We should be live on Rumble. Bloody Rumble's acting up, innit? Are we on? Are we on? Yes, we're live on Rumble. And we're live on Twitch. Don't know why I keep doing Twitch. Right, explore the description for links for stuff like merch, which I'm not wearing, as usual. Me books, down there. Amazon Kindle paperback. Me websites and me other channels and me social medias and all that stuff. And become a member if you're on YouTube. Then you get early access videos and exclusive videos and other things, emojis. In the chat. You can join us in the live chat if you've been a subscriber for more than, I don't know, a day or whatever. And all that stuff. Right, so Indiana Jones. A cool character who was originally going to be a James Bond type character. Steven Spielberg wanted to do a James Bond film, but George Lucas says, no, I've got something better. But which was his Indiana Jones character, although he was called Indiana Smith at the time. He'd had this in his mind since about the same time he came up with Star Wars. He knew he wanted to do like a Saturday morning serial movie, but he couldn't decide whether to do like an outer space one, like Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers, etc., or like an action adventure one, you know, like I don't know, like what they did. The Tarzan films and stuff like that. And obviously he decided to go the outer space route and did Star Wars, but he always had Indiana Smith in the back of his mind. He changed the name to Jones because Steven Spielberg says he didn't like the name. So he says, all right, I'll call him Indiana Jones. That's the story, anywho. Anyway, it came out in 1981. It had a budget of $20 million. It did $400 million-ish at the box office, so it was a huge success, as we all know. Directed by Steven Spielberg, a story by George Lucas and Philip Kaufman, screenplay by Lawrence Kasdan, who'd also done this before this. He'd done the screenplay, or finished the screenplay for Empire Strikes Back, hadn't he? And he would go on to do the screenplay for Return of the Jedi and loads of other stuff. And he would direct films as well, such as Dreamcatcher and other things. Frank Marshall was a producer, stars Harrison Ford, Karen Allen, Paul Freeman, Ronald Lacey, John Rhys Davies, Denham Elliott, Alfred Molina, Pat Roach, and many more, and the amazing score from John Williams. You all know about Raiders of the Lost Ark. If you've not seen it, where the hell have you been for however long it's been out, 44 years? But anyway, so we're going to go through it and see what I can remember about it. We're not going to just watch the film because YouTube will go mental and just stop the stream and throw my channel in the bin, which may be where it belongs to be. But yeah, so we're going to watch it in a series of stills, and I'll try and remember stuff about the film. I'll talk about it and give my thoughts on the scenes that we're looking at. Right, so I shall full screen this baby over on the other screen, and we'll get on with it. I'll pop myself down in the corner. I'm sure I've forgotten something, and I always say that because it's true. What am I doing? Oh, I'm doing that, aren't I? There we go. Popping myself down in the corner. Where am I? There we go. There we go. And up it comes. Right, let us begin. Let us begin going through Raiders of the Lost Ark. Reviewing it, you might even say. Right, there's the good old-fashioned Paramount Pictures logo from days gone by, back when it were a Gulf and Western company. Remember them? Was that like was that an oil company, Gulf and Western? I think it was, wasn't it? Was it? I don't know. But anyway, the old, before they went all CG, the old one, and obviously it dissolves. There we go, into a mountain that's supposed to be in South America, but it is actually in Hawaii. Can't remember the name of the mountain, but it is in Hawaii, on Kauai, or whatever the hell it's called. One of the islands. The same island where they filmed Jurassic Park. And there's a scene later on that I think is in the same place as one of the scenes in Jurassic Park, but you can decide if it is or not. Right, where were we? Right, so we're off and running. There we go. A Lucasfilm production. Raiders of the Lost Ark that you can barely read against the I can't bloody see it now. Hang on, where are we? There we go. It appears against the bright sky, and you can hardly see it until somebody walks in front of it. But there we go. No Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, just Raiders of the Lost Ark. I'm surprised they didn't change that. You know what George Lucas is like. Pardon me. Anyway, so we're in South America in 1936. It's going to tell us in a minute. I've probably gone past it, knowing me. We haven't got there yet. Never mind. Trudging through the jungle. And it's going to tell... Oh, whatever. It'll tell us in a minute. And there's Alfred Molina. There we go. As Sapito. I can never remember his name. Just a minute. Let me check. Alfred Molina. Is it Molina or Molina? Satipo. Not Sapito. Satipo. I don't know his name. This other fella. Right. See if I can find him. Go away, fly. What little fly flying about's doing me head in? I've no idea who this other fella is. See if it says. I don't know. Is he Peruvian Porter? Might be. No, I think that's the fella with the woolly hat, innit? I don't know who this fella is then. I don't know who he is. Because I don't think it ever tells his name, does it? I have no idea. If you know, tell us in the chat. Or in the comments afterwards. Anyway, so here they are. Right, so we're in South America. They found obviously some sort of tomb or whatever. Remember, this film would go on to inspire Tomb Raider. Head over to this tree. It was directed by Steven Spielberg. And they found a poison dart embedded in the tree. And then we get this a nonsensical bit of logic coming up. Because Alfred Molina says, there we go, the Jovitos are near. Poison is fresh. 3 days. They're following us. I thought, what? They're not following you. They're in front of you. That's been there for 3 days. But anyway, whatever. Or did they fire it? Did it take it 3 days for it to hit the tree? They're that powerful with their blow darts. Anyway, but if they knew we were here, they would have killed us already. Says the man with no name. I don't know what he's called. Anyway, it doesn't last long in the film. Spoilers. By the way, there'll be huge spoilers. If you haven't seen this film, what the bloody hell are you doing? Right, so we're by a lovely waterfall. And the fella that we don't know his name is going to pull a gun on him. Oh, by the way, he's looking at a map beforehand. There we go. A map that he should really sellotape together. I can't make anything out on the map, but never mind. So anyway, pulls his gun out. Indiana. Hears the cocking of the hammer and uses his whip. By the way, great sound effects in this film. Great meaty, beefy sound effects. Even when he's cocking the hammer, it sounds meaty and beefy. Hang on, see if we can find it, and I'll just play that bit. There we go. Sounded meaty, didn't it, that? If you heard it. Oh, he did. But then Indy gets his whip out, whoosh, drops the gun, and he runs off into the jungle. Off he goes, the man whose name I don't know. And then we see Indiana's face for the first time. Named after... apparently Marshall Lucas's dog. George Lucas says, named after my dog. But I've read somewhere that it was actually his wife's dog, Marshall Lucas. A big Malamute that were called Indiana. And was the basis or whatever for Chewbacca as well. Anywho. Right, so here we go. They found the entrance to the tomb, whatever you want to call it, temple, whatever it is. And he grabs loads of sand and starts shoving it into this bag. Does he shove too much in? Does he shove not enough in? I don't know. But anyway, he shoves it into this bag. And off they go inside with their flaming torch. I did an audio commentary today, and I did mention, do tarantulas do weave webs, spiders' webs? I don't know. I'm going to look it up now. Because they come across loads of tarantulas in here. I think the red-legged tarantulas, or red-kneed tarantulas, whatever they're called. Do tarantulas, if I can spell it, weave webs? Yes, tarantulas do spin silk and create webs, but not in the same way as other spiders. While they don't build intricate prey-catching webs like these, maybe other spiders did these, they do use silk for various purposes like lining their burrows. That's what I thought. I thought they were burrowing spiders, and they just, basically ambush their prey, don't they, and jump out at them and protect their egg sacs and stuff like that. Anyway, that's by the by. That's by the by. Right, so in they go into the temple, whatever it is. I couldn't remember. What is the matter with me tonight? I don't know. Anyway, so it says, Senor, he says, because he's playing like a Central American chap. He's supposed to be in Peru, by the way. Some parts of this were filmed in Peru, but I don't know which parts. Most of it, these scenes were filmed in Hawaii, but in the credits at the end, it says Peru/Hawaii unit. So they must have gone to Peru at some point, but I don't know in which part. We're in Peru. There we go. It's got a few spiders on his back. Did you feel them? You'd feel these walking about on you, wouldn't you? Like somebody's hand in a big bloody glove on your back, wouldn't it? Anyway, so he bats them off with his whip and tells Alfred Molina to turn round. And he's covered in the boogers. And Alfred Molina, it's Molina in my mind. Didn't like this bit. He said a man came and he had this box with all these little individual segmented box, all these little individual compartments in, and in each one was a bit of straw, and under the straw was a spider, and he was just like putting them on him. These spiders. And Steven Spielberg says, "Why aren't the spiders moving?" And the fella said it's because they're all the same sex. They're all males, or they're all females, or something like that. So to make them do something, they had to put another spider of the opposite sex on with them, and they all went mental, he says. That's when they start scurrying about thusly. I'd be freaking out. I don't mind big spiders. I'm not a big fan of... I don't mind little tiny spiders. I don't mind big hairy ones like that, because they're just like a big hairy glove, aren't they? But it's the in-between ones that freak me out. Anyway, so it bats them off, and off they go, they carry on. Now we see a bit of ancient technology. Is this from Ancient Aliens or something? I don't know. But somehow the ancient Peruvians here have managed to make some sort of light sensor. Don't know how this works, but it's light beaming down. So why does it go at night? They won't have to worry about this, because it's dark anyway. They've got a torch. Just go at night. Anyway, so he does the thing. He says, "Don't go into the light," and then he thrusts his hand up into it, thusly, and out comes some spikes with Forrestal attached. There we go. There he is. Not looking well, is he? Not looking well, is Forrestal. I think when this film came out, it was a PG certificate, and I think it was 81 in the UK. There'd probably been an A certificate back then. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if PG had come out then. We used to have UA, AA, and X. I think, and then I think later in the 80s, or maybe 82 or something like that, they changed it to U, PG, 15, 18. And then later we got 12 added in between. But anyway, I think it's now a 12 certificate now in the UK. Probably because of all the violence. I don't know how Steven Spielberg gets away with the violence in his films, but he does. Such as this is a scary thing. Poor Forrestal, killed. But anyway, off he goes, using his whip to swing across this gap. This bottomless pit. There it is. Cool matte paintings in this film. I think by Michael Pangrazio, I think. Could be wrong, probably am. Who had also done matte paintings on Empire Strikes Back previously. So off they go, and they end up in the main temple area with the big gong behind them. There it is. I don't know what it is. Show us it then. There we go. I always think it's a big gong. It should have a big dong thing to bat it with. So here they go, and there we see the idol at the bottom, which is a fertility idol. And apparently it's female. It's a woman giving birth. Apparently, you can't really make it out in the film, but you can buy replicas of it, and it apparently is a woman giving birth. Anyway, so he says there's nothing to fear, and Indy says that's what scares me, and then he sees this thing in the floor there. And Justin's here saying, love this movie and franchise. Indy, one of my heroes. Yes, it's amazing. Great film, the best films ever made. Raiders. Anyway, so he finds this bit of muck on the floor. And we see lots of other bits of muck on the floor, and it's some sort of pressure pad. And he presses. He presses down on it with the thing, and it fires out. He's going to do it now. Look, how does it know whereabouts on the pad you're pressing? Great technology these ancient Peruvians had. They did, because it fires out a dart that hits the torch. Thusly, there we go. So if it had pressed down the thing on the other end of the pad, would a dart have come out somewhere else to hit that? Don't know. So off he goes to get the idol. There we go, being careful to not press any of the pressure pads. Now he gets out his bag of sand and just wastes half of it. Hang on, where is he wasting now? There he is, wasting half of it, look. But is there still too much in? I don't know. Is the bag too heavy or not heavy enough? I don't know. Oh, you can make it out there, look. Just noticed. There you go. Little baby there, look. She's firing out a burn. Probably why she's got her teeth like that. Ah, you bloody baby! I just know it's got real eyes as well. You know, not golden eyes. It's not a James Bond film. And yes, there she is having a baby. And then he's going to swap it for the bag of sand. There we go. But is the bag too heavy or not heavy enough? If it's too heavy, because it goes down, there's the things, that mean the bag's too heavy. If it wasn't heavy enough, would the plinth thing have gone up? I don't know. It's not the right weight. And then everything starts collapsing. So he goes running across. All the darts are firing. Lara Croft is taking notes. Off they go. Satipo's swung across the ravine already, and the whip's come undone, and he says, throw me the idol, I throw you the whip. And obviously throws him the idol, and he says, sorry, I'm a bad guy, see ya, and he drops the whip, and off he goes, under the door that's now coming down, look, very slowly, and disjointedly. So anyway, so Indiana Jones leaps across, here he goes. Don't waste any time thinking about it. Just goes. Ooh, I bet that knocked the wind out of him. I bet it did. Anyway, he managed to get up. There we go. He gets up just about and just manages to get through. Obviously grabs his whip. And then he sees. So obviously there were another light trap, wasn't there? Because as he gets up, and there we go. We see Forrestal still there. At first I was wondering, did it reset? But it can't have done because Forrestal's still there. And he turns round. Gore! How does he get away with it? I don't know. He comes across. Poor Satipo. Not the best likeness of Alfred Molina for the dummy, is it? But anyway, all dead. With spikes through his entire body. So he grabs the idol, says, adios, Satipo. I always wondered what he said until I found out that was the name of the character. But anyway. And then the big stone ball arrives. Oh, no. So he's going rolling after that. Apparently, Harrison Ford did this 10 times. Apparently. Running away from this. And the bit where he stumbles, it didn't do on purpose. They thought it looked cool, so they kept it in. Anyway, so he did this 10 times. I'm guessing this big ball, by the way, this big boulder, I'm guessing that's not really that heavy. Could you just stop it? Because you never see it in any of the behind the scenes. I'm just putting his hand out and stopping it. I'm guessing it's not that heavy. They still wouldn't have put him in that real danger, would they? I'm guessing it's like polystyrene or something, isn't it? I guess you could just stop it with your hand. But I don't know. Maybe it was dangerous. I don't know. But anyway. This is 1981 after all. Or 1980 when they filmed it. I remember the filming dates for this, by the way. Filming dates, show us. IMDb. Yes, June 1980 to September 1980. There we go. It started production in December 79. So there we go. Anywho, where were we? Anyway, so he makes it out. There we go. Goes diving out, and then comes across loads of natives, Jovitos. And there they are. And we're going to meet now Belloc, played by Paul Freeman, who is not dead. I don't think he is. Maybe he is now. I don't know. Hang on. There was a thing going round where everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people thought he'd passed away, including me. No, he's still knocking about. And I don't know where I heard it, but I've seen online that other people thought he'd died as well. So maybe there were another actor called Paul Freeman that died. I don't know. Or maybe they're thinking of Alan Freeman, the DJ. I don't know, but he's still around. Anyway, so here he is as Belloc. There's that fella's at back. Him that ran away, we don't know his name, is back with lots of acupuncture going on. I'm sure he feels better now for that. And there's Paul Freeman as Belloc, who is a French archaeologist. Is he a Vichy French archaeologist? I don't know. Does he have a bio? I just wondered why he's working with the Nazis. Let's have a look. René Belloc is a French archaeologist. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Alright, the novelisation of the movie, which I've not read, reveals Belloc became Indiana's foe at graduate school when he plagiarised his essay on stratigraphy. Anyway, it was called, in the first draft of the script, it was called A Meal. I'm trying to see if it tells why he's dealing with Nazis. It doesn't say. Never mind. Anyway, again, you'll see there's nothing you can possess which I cannot take away. So he's always stealing things from Indiana. Let's Indiana do the hard work and then he takes it. But, credit where credit's due, he does learn to speak Jovitos. So, Indiana Jones didn't do that, did he? He didn't give a monkeys. So he learns to speak Jovitos. He says, you could warn them, of course, if you could speak Jovitos. Hatuma Matata! Whatever he says. There it is. There we go. So they're all bowing to him. And then while they're doing that, Indiana Jones runs off and he tells them, go and get him. So they go chasing after him through the jungle. There's Jock with his plane. For a long time, I thought Jock was played by Frank Marshall, the producer. But he's not. Because I'd seen somewhere that he plays the pilot in the film, and I thought, there must have been the fella at the beginning of the film, but no, he plays a pilot later on in the film. This is Fred Sorensen as Jock. With his plane, OBCPO, I wonder what that references. Not the only Star Wars reference in this film. Anyway, here he comes, there's Indiana, for Pete's sake, there we go, out of the jungle. This is the area, I think, that's in Jurassic Park. See if we get a view of it. When he comes running, Buddy skipped over it. Buddy Skip is dead annoying sometimes. Oh dear! Come on, show. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. I think this area is the same area we see in Jurassic Park, where the Gallimimus appear and the T-Rex and that. And it gets them. I think it's this general area because it looks very similar, doesn't it? I don't know. It's on the same island in Hawaii, so I bet it is the same general area that we see in Jurassic Park. But anyway, I was looking I did look on Jurassic Park. I was looking for this tree, see if I could see this distinctive tree that Steven Spielberg described as a tuning fork tree, but I couldn't see it. Maybe it's not there anymore. I don't know. So they were like 12 years apart, weren't they? Anyway, so off he goes. Jock's caught something, but he's got to let go of his rod, and off they go. And there we go. He goes into the water. They're all firing their blow darts at him, not hitting him because they're rubbish. And off they go. He climbs onto the plane and flies off. And then he sees he's got a big snake in the plane. I hate snakes, Jock. I hate them. Says, that's just my pet snake, Reggie. Grow a backbone, will you? And off they fly into the sunset. And whenever I recorded this, First time I saw it, obviously. I recorded it off TV when I was a kid. Yeah, there were a commercial break here. I always remember that. Right, so we cut to the school. There it is, where he works. I can't remember the name. I can't remember the name of the school. Does it say? Does it say here? Barnet College. There we go. That's what it's called. Barnet College. The exterior is the University of the Pacific in Stockton, California. The interior is Rickmansworth Masonic School for Girls. That sounds creepy, doesn't it? Masonic School for Girls. In Rickmansworth, Hertfordshire. That's the interior. But the exterior is... So the interior is in England, the exterior is in America. Movie magic. Anyway, here he is, not being able to spell Neolithic. And here he's doing his teaching job, and doesn't seem to be very good at it, but all the girls like him. Seems to be most of the class seem to be girls, don't they? There's some lads in there. Anyway, here comes. Oh, right, okay, right. The deleted scene. I've just noticed her there. Here comes Marcus Brody from the museum. There's a deleted scene where she's hanging about outside waiting to see Dr. Jones. There's a scene when he comes out and she's talking to him. She says, you promised me some alone time in your office. And he says, we'll have to leave it to another time. So in this movie, it's kind of weird with Indiana Jones and his students, or his relationships with younger people. So it's a bit problematic, you might say. But anyway, here he comes. But the deleted scene, deleted that scene with him. Anyway, so they're busy talking away about folklore and about a golden coffin and chambers and all that stuff. And there's just this young girl. Is going to show her. Well, not a young girl, but there she is. Say, got love you. Did she write that on herself? Because she can't. Somebody must have written it on for her. Because unless she's just really good, I don't know. But somebody must have written it on for her. She's one of the production assistants, I think, or something like that, or a makeup artist. She's like one of the crew. She's not an actress. She's one of the crew. Anyway, saying, I love you, because he must have a reputation with his students. But anyway, the bell goes, because in American schools, as soon as the bell goes, they all get up and walk out. When I was at school, if the bell went, you all looked at the teacher, and the teacher always said, you go when I say you go, finish whatever you're doing. That's what happened when I was at school. Anyway, thank you, Justin, that's very kind of you. A $2 super chat from Justin, and it doesn't say anything. Or is it a super sticker? No, it's a super chat, thank you. Thank you very much. Anyway, where were we? Anyway, yeah. So they all go, right, off they go. And this one, here comes Marcus comes in, and this one lad, don't look happy. There we go, here he goes, leaving that apple. Don't look happy, does he? I'm guessing his mother gave it to him. Saying, give this apple to your teacher, that nice Dr. Jones. And he's like, okay, Mum. So he's done that. Just sorry I missed Friday. You were missed. Yes, you were missed. And yes, you should be sorry. Oh dear. You didn't miss much, but it could be said. That could be said for all of my shows. I'm hopeless, I know. Anyway, where were we? Oh, yes. So Marcus pinches the apple, and that's where we learn that Belak got the whatever he'd gone for, but he found some other stuff, and he says, yes, we'll buy these from you. They're very nice. We'll buy from you. No questions asked, because it's very dodgy. It's 1936. It's a different age, isn't it? It's when they didn't blow his way into the temple thing with dynamite. They used to do stuff like that back in the day, didn't they? Anyway, so he says, somebody's come to see you. Anyway, so off he goes. So is Marcus part of the school or part of a museum? He said the museum will buy from you, no questions asked. But is he? I'm not sure. but this is a school. I'm not sure what's going on. Just said, I had an overnight shift, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. Needed to sleep. Oh, well, yes, you did. Yes, you did. It's fine. You don't need to make excuses. It's not mandatory to watch my videos. Honest. Anyway, so here we are with William Hootkins, Pawkins from Star Wars, and Detective Bullock from Batman. As I said, I've done an audio commentary for this, and I couldn't remember who he played in Batman. Just come to me now, Detective Bullock. And I've seen him in other things as well. What else have I seen him in? Can't remember. But anyway, here he is. And this other fella as well. I've seen him in other things, but I've forgotten his name. See if it says here. What am I looking for? I don't know. William Hootkins, where are you? Where the hell is he? Is it? I don't know who it is. Is he Colonel Musgrove? Oh, let me have a look at that. I think it is. I'm not sure. It's not. Yes, I think this is Don. So he's playing a colonel. Yes, they were in Superman 2. Yes, I remember him from that. They were in Superman 4 as well. But yes, Superman 2, that's where I remember him from. Has he been in anything else? Yeah, but nothing I've seen. But yes, he plays the army bloke in Superman 2, doesn't he? There's Don Fellows. Just I feel bad. I try to support. You do support. You don't try. You do support, mate. You don't need to feel bad. It's fine. It's fine. You can always watch afterwards. I don't delete them. They're always there. I know, but you can't interact. I know, but you can drop a comment. Anyway, I forgot what I was saying now. Oh, yes, they've come to see him. They're from the government, and we learn that they're asking about Abner Ravenwood, who was Indiana's teacher, his mentor back in the day. 10 years earlier, that we learned they had a falling out. I'm guessing about Marion. It doesn't go into details, but anyway. So we learned that they've intercepted a Nazi communique. Can I say that? Well, I am doing because it's part of the story. They intercepted a Nazi communique from Cairo to Berlin, saying that the Nazis have found Tanis, which is a lost city in Egypt, and Abner Ravenwood is mentioned in the thing there. The headpiece of the Staff of Ra, Abner Ravenwood, US. So they think he's involved with the Nazis, and they say, "Oh no, he's no Nazi." And so obviously they want the headpiece for this thing. And they think Abner's got it, so that's all they want to know him for. So anyway, they also tell us that Hitler's been sending people all over the world, pardon me, looking for religious artifacts, which he did, didn't he? He did back in the day. He had the stories that he did have the Spear of Destiny, the Spear of Longinus, how you pronounce it, the spear that pierced Christ's side on the cross. They said he'd found that, hadn't they? And also he sent agents and soldiers and stuff off to like the Tibet and places like that, looking for evidence of Aryan superiority. There's that film, isn't there, with Brad Pitt? I can't remember what it's called. 7 Years in Tibet, something like that. I've not seen it, but that's about that, isn't it? Anyway, so that's where they tell them, say, "Oh, they found Tanis." That's where they go. "Oh, they found Tanis." Anyway, so they said Tanis is one of the places. The possible resting places for the Lost Ark, the Ark of the Covenant. And they go, "You what?" So he explains it that the Ark of the Covenant is the golden chest that the Hebrews built with specific instructions, by the way, very oddly, bizarrely specific, much like the instructions that were given to Noah. It's all in the Bible. You could build the Ark from the instructions in the Bible, and you could build the Ark of the Covenant from the instructions in the Bible. Shittim wood, which just makes me laugh, and all that stuff. I forgot what I was saying now. Yes, And Moses brought down the 10 Commandments, the stone tablets that he brought down from Mount Sinai or whatever. He says Mount Horeb, doesn't he? But whatever. And then he smashed them when he saw him worshipping the golden calf and all that. He smashed them, didn't he? And then they got the pieces and put them in the ark and took them to when they were travelling round. There were 40 years or whatever, weren't they, in the wilderness travelling around with the Hebrews. They did Jericho. They brought down the walls of Jericho with the ark, didn't they? And anyway, they actually settled. They built Jerusalem, or took over Jerusalem, whatever. Built the Temple of Solomon, put the ark in there, and then it disappeared. And they think maybe an Egyptian pharaoh, Shishak, took it in 980 BC and took it to Tanis. But there's also some people think that Nebuchadnezzar took it to Babylon, didn't they? When the Hebrew people, the Israelites, were all taken en masse, weren't they, enslaved in Babylon for a long time. Which is when Jehovah, God, whatever you want to call him, became a more ethereal God and a less smiting thine enemies God, didn't he, when they were in Babylon. A God of loving kindness. There's also the story that the Queen of Sheba's son, she had a son with King Solomon, didn't she? Whose name I've forgotten. Metchaluk or Meluk, I can't remember. I'm going to have to look that up now. Menelik, there we go, Menelik. Where did I get Metchaluk from? I don't know. But anyway, Menelik may have taken, well, the story's in that he stole the ark and buggered off to Ethiopia with it. And some people think it's still there, don't they? People like Graham Hancock suggest it might still be there. In Aksum, in a church in Aksum. Anyway, so he's telling them all this. He's doing all this exposition about the ark. Just much like I did, but not in as much detail as I went. But anyway, so they decide that they're going to send Indiana. Oh, and they say, we don't know what this ark looks like, because they're obviously idiots. And then it says, did you ever go to Sunday school? Luckily, he's got his big, massive illustrated Bible, or whatever this book is. But it's cool, and I want it. And he opens it up. Oh, but first he's telling them all about what the headpiece to the staff of Ra is. So he draws a cool picture on the blackboard, and all that. And then he opens it up in his Bible. Is it in German or something, or Latin? I don't know, but it looks like Latin, doesn't it? If it is a Bible, I don't know. But a cool picture showing the ark blasting the enemies of the Israelites. And we're told that the ark has been told to lay waste to entire regions and level mountains and stuff like that. I don't know if it ever said that in the Bible, but it did some cool stuff. Like I say, the march around Jericho so many times with it, didn't they? Then blew a trumpet and the walls fell down. And also, somebody died, didn't they? A herd of cattle went near the ark, and somebody reached out to steady the ark, and they just touched the ark and fell dead, didn't they? Can't remember his name. Umar or Unner or something like that, I can't remember. And cool things like that. Anyway, so there we go. So, power of God. So they're saying that whoever carries the ark, whatever army carries the ark before it, is invincible. So that's why Hitler wants it. So there we go. Right. So then we cut to Indy's house later on at night. Marcus is arriving in his car, in his Rocketeer type car, because it's set about the same time, isn't it? Ish. So this is Indy's house. All the lights are on. And I mean, the original way this were filmed, I don't know if they just filmed it like this and just cut bits out, or if they just refilmed it, I don't know. But Indy is actually entertaining a young lady. Maybe it's the same young lady we saw earlier on that wanted to see him in his office alone. Don't know. But he's entertaining this young lady, which is why he's in his dressing gown. And I think he's got some champagne there already. there we go on the table there, because can you see? Yeah, there's champagne there on the table. So maybe she's hiding in the bedroom. I don't know. Because originally Steven Spielberg, and I think George Lucas as well, wanted James Bond, Indiana Jones to be kind of like a James Bond type character, with a girl in every town and stuff like that. But they decided against that, so they cut out the young lady, so she's still in the bedroom somewhere. I imagine, excuse me, I imagine her being like Madeline Smith in Live and Let Die, stuck in the wardrobe. Anyway, so we're learning here that he's being given the mission to go and retrieve the Ark, and so he's getting ready. And obviously, Marcus is worried. Saying it's not to be taken lightly. We don't know anything about the Ark, its powers. And he say, "Oh no, what are you talking about? It's just a historical artifact, not a load of mumbo jumbo and superstitious nonsense." And so off he goes to get on this plane, a seaplane, and there he is, sitting down, ready to go. But we see somebody already on the plane. It's going to show him. Here we go, behind a copy of Life magazine. Now, I'm not sure if this is supposed to be Tot, or Tote, however you want to pronounce it, played by Ronald Lacey later on. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be him or not, or somebody else. It kind of looks like him, with the glasses and the piggy little eyes. But it's not. It's not Ronald Lacey. That is Dennis Muren, the special effects guy from ILM. That's him, so he's having a cameo in the film. I think it's just supposed to be an agent. Justice says it is him. Or is it supposed to be Tote? But it's not Ronald Lacey, it's Dennis Muren. Peeking out from the copy of Life. Go away, little fly. Yeah, stream boo! Yeah! All the way from Twitch. Anyway, so off he goes on one of his graphical travels. There he goes. Oh, from wherever he is. I don't know. Where are we there? San Francisco? Yes, it's San Francisco, because there's bloody Golden Gate Bridge there. See how I worked it out, though, not from looking at that. I'm looking from, it was like San Diego, LA, San Francisco, isn't it? See. Justin says, where are we? Oh, it is meant to be him. Yeah, because he does kind of look a bit like him in the eyes, doesn't he, does Dennis Muren. So I wonder if Ronald Lacey wasn't available. He's also not available later on in the film, which we'll get to. When they don't get another actor in to replace him, they just use his hat and his coat. Anyway, we'll get to that. So off he goes, in graphical form and on film as well, with his big red line. Stops off in Hawaii, there we go. The Hawaiian Islands, which didn't belong to America then, did they? Were they still British? I don't know. Because Hawaii is the only of the American states that has the Union flag, the British, the Union Jack, in its flag. I know it became a state in 1950, same year as Alaska, didn't it? But anyway, it'd been an American protectorate for a long time, hasn't it? Which is why Pearl Harbor were there. Anyway, that's by the by. Right, so off he goes across the Pacific. He stopped off there. I wonder where that is. I can't see what it says. Stops off because there's a dot there. So stopped off somebody there. We can't see it for the cloud. I can't make out what it says. Another stopover in the Philippines, and then off he goes up to Nepal. Not Tibet, but Nepal, with a cool, presuming a matte painting. I presume this is a matte painting. Looks like one. If you're going to show it without the map over it, there we go. It looks like a matte painting, and very nice it is. Apart from the smoke, which looks jolly good. In the 30s, it was a territory. Was it one of you? I'd be giving it to you. Anywho, here we see we're introduced to Marion Ravenwood, who is a raging alcoholic apparently, but can hold liquor. But I don't think she wins this competition. I think she should have given the fella his money back or whatever, or not been allowed to grab all the money like she does. But anyway, I don't know who this fella is. Is he a mountaineer? I don't know. Because there's all that local people and all that, but he's a fellow that's obviously not Nepalese. So is it from a fella going mountaineering, or is he a merchant? I don't know. But anyway, they're having a drinking contest. And there we go. He finishes his drink, puts it down, and we see they've got one drink each left. She goes for a penultimate one, and swigs that down. And then she looks as though she's going to pass out, but she says, "Oh no!" She says "pestari," whatever that means. Probably means wait or whatever. I don't know. Is that a Nepalese word? Don't know. So she says, I'm fine. And then so she puts her glass down, and he picks up his last one. See, she hasn't finished hers yet. Which she doesn't, by the way. Pardon me. But anyway, he picks his glass up and swigs it down, and then flakes out, passes out. And then she says, I've won then, because he's passed out. Maybe it was just a who passes out first competition, I don't know. But she didn't drink as much as him, did she? I know she's only teeny tiny, but she should have shown her swigging off that last one, and then I wouldn't be complaining. But anyway, she says, I've won the money. Everybody bugger off now. I've won. And then Indiana Jones's shadow arrives. There it is. Oh, did it? There it is. And she's like, oh, I know that silhouette. That fedora from Herbert Johnson on Savile Row in London. Must get paid a lot, mustn't he, Indiana Jones? Must get a lot of money to getting his hats from Savile Row. They made a prequel to Crystal Skull. Yes, they did. This is the prequel. It's the prequel to Last Crusade as well. It's a sequel to Temple of Doom. Anyway, hello, Wingrace, by the way. And congratulations on your video doing amazingly well on your channel. Your Star Trek United video. It's doing astonishingly well, and your subscriptions are going up as well. So go over and subscribe to Wingrace's channel, because he does quality stuff. Right, where were we? Right, hello, Marion, he says, and she goes, oh, I'm going to just throw these glasses across the bar, and you hear them smashing, tinkling all over, because she doesn't care. So she just punches him in the face, and there we go, with proper sound effects. As I said, won an Oscar for the sound effects. All the punching noises in this film, such as, which I'll play again, like that. All the punching noises, rather than them just use stock sound effects for punching noises. That's Ben Burt and his team at Skywalker Sound decided to do their own punching sound effects. So that some of them were like breaking chicken bones, but the thing that they found that worked best, they had a huge pile of leather jackets, and they just whacked this pile of leather jackets with baseball bats and just recorded the sound. So you had all different types, all these sort of sounds from hitting these leather jackets. So that's what they used in this film. Wingrace says, first thing to do well in like a year. Well, at least it's doing well, more than any of my videos do. Including this one. Anyway, so there we go. Learn to hate you in the last 10 years. This is where it gets kind of problematic. Because apparently in the novelisation, she started having a relationship with him. Apparently, I've not read it. I'm just going for what I've heard. When she was 15, and that he left when she was 16 or 17, and he was 10 years older than her at the time. This is what she says. She says, I was a child. Hang on, where are we? She says it there. I was a child. It was wrong, and you know it. So again, problematic. I don't know, but in my headcanon, I always think of it like when Karen Allen made this. When it came out in 1981, Karen Allen was 30. So when she made it, she'll be like 29. So I always imagine Marion to be the same age as Karen Allen, 29. So that when he left 10 years ago, she was about 19, 18 at the youngest. So she was technically, not a kid. I suppose you could say legal. But anyway, that's me just cutting Indiana Jones some slack. Anyway, so she's not happy that he's back. Anyway, so he's offering her a chance to get out of there. He's offering her $3,000 for the headpiece to the staff of Ra. He doesn't call it that. He says it's just a bronze. He calls it bronze. I always thought it was gold, but he calls it bronze piece with a crystal and all that. And he says, I haven't got it here. Come back tomorrow. His offers us 3,000. There we go. 3,000 bucks. Why do they call them books, by the way? You know, when $3,000. Is it to do with buckskins, or back in the old days of trappers and stuff? I don't know. I'm just guessing. I don't know. $3,000, and she says that'll get me home, but not in style. And I thought, well, 1936, $3,000, I'd easily get you home in a lot of style, wouldn't it? A lot of money back then, wouldn't it? I'm going to see what $3,000 would be worth these days. Just bear with me. $3,000 1936 in 2025. See if it does it. $3,000 in 1936 has the same purchasing power as $69,380.94 in 2025. So there you go. So it's like $70,000. Yes, buckskin. See. So it's often essentially $70,000. So that'd easily get her back in style, wouldn't it? But she's not satisfied. But anyway, I think he offers her more. I think he offers 2,000 or something. I don't know. But he says, can you get your more back home? And she says, come back tomorrow. And he says, why? He says, 'cause I said so. She goes, see you later, Indiana Jones, for the trailer. Anyway, so off he goes. I presume he's got a room somewhere. There must be a hotel in this Nepalese mountain village. Because it looks like she's got the bar, and bars are usually the inns, aren't they? Or the people stay there. But he's obviously not staying there, is he? Because he's having to bugger off. Anyway, maybe he's sleeping in the car. Justin says books and buckaroos, but no banzais. Yeah, that film. Anyway, so she gets it out. She got it on her. She just wears it all the time round her neck for some reason. Don't know why, but she does. And it can't be comfortable, can it? But anyway, I do like this bit. When she turns it and it makes the candle flicker look like that. I do like that because it's got super duper power. Probably got emitting radiation, and it's wonder she ain't covered in blisters and boils. But anyway, that's by the by. So she decides to put the money. She she takes it off for some reason now. She must have been wearing it all that time, and just puts it on that, whatever that is, stump. And she goes and puts her money. There we go, in a cigar box, because everybody did that back in the day. Justin says, always had a crush on Karen Allen. She's lovely, Karen Allen. She's lovely in person as well. I met her at a convention. I drew a picture of her. See if I can find it. It'll be on my Facebook. I drew a picture of her and got her to sign it. I can't remember where it is. I can't remember where I put it. Photos. Have I got me? Albums I'm looking for. Is it? Yeah, I've got autographs. I've got an autographs album on my Facebook page. Where are the pictures? Over there. Right, Karen Allen, where are you? Because they're not in order. So just bear with me. Not Carolyn Munro. Not Christopher Judge. Not Chase Masterson. Spookily. Why did they pick all the ones beginning with C? Oh, weird, wasn't it? You probably think it's rubbish. There it is. That's my picture of the. Hang on, let me do a open. Where is it? Open image in new tab. My picture of Karen Allen that I got her to sign. Where is it? There it is. There it is. My picture of Karen Allen that I got to sign. Yeah, it's up on my wall over there. To Steve, all the best, Karen Allen. There we go. Right, where were we? Crush and Karen, especially in this film, her character is great in this. Yeah, yes, it is. You know what? I don't think the only other thing I can remember seeing her in is Animal House, National Lampoon's Animal House, and you see her bum in that. But because she played Donald Sutherland, but Donald Sutherland were in Animal House, wasn't he? Played one of the teachers, didn't he? Played one of his students / girlfriends, didn't she? But anyway, Justice says, that's great, very cool, thank you very much. She liked it as well, she signed it for me. And I give her a copy as well, probably gone in the bin. I used to do that. Oh yes, she was in Scrooged, yes, of course she was, yes, Scrooged, yes. How could I forget Scrooged? Yes, she was in that as well. I'm sure she's been in loads of other stuff I've probably seen and forgotten. Anyway, she's shoving all that money in the cigar box, and here comes Ronald Lacey, the great Ronald Lacey, as Tod, which means death in German, doesn't it? There he is. Saying, good evening, Fräulein. There he is. Apparently, we're going to give up acting. The roles had dried up a bit, apparently, for Ronald Lacey. And they were thinking, I'm sure I saw it somewhere, I can't remember where. But they were going to go into teaching, teaching acting, go to, get a job at an acting school teaching about acting. And but then he got this role, and his career kind of took off again. And he'd been in loads of stuff, didn't he, after this? Yes, he was great in Firefox also. Yes, he was. But he got blown away in that, didn't he? Anyway, so here he is. He's wanting what Dr. Jones were after. So she says, nothing. Basically, tells him nothing. She offers him a drink, and he's going to torture her for information. So they all grab hold of her. There you go. She's resisting, and he brings out. There we go. The burning hot poker, and he, and luckily Indiana Jones is super accurate with his oh yes, that might be it, his part-time agent. Yes, it might be that then I'm thinking of. It can become like a full-time agent. Yeah, it could be that I'm thinking of. But we're going to do something else to do with acting. Luckily Indiana Jones is super accurate with his whip, and he just whips it out of his hands, but it hits the curtains, sets the curtains on fire, and then we have a cool action scene where the machine guns are firing, and the machine guns in this sound amazing. I'll probably not land on a bit where we see him shooting, but as I said, all the sound effects are all very beefy, meaty sound effects, and I think Ben Burt said all the machine gun and pistol and all that, all the weapons firing. Is actually just the audio of they recorded the audio for each of the different weapons, and it's just that they didn't embellish them at all. It's just straight recordings of the weapons being fired, but not on set. They did it themselves. Indy had a 1911 45 ACP. Should have kept that. Okie dokie. Justin has changed into Quest, to Melvin from Quest, knowing all about the guns. There she's covering up. Let's have a listen, because the sound effects are cool. What are you laughing for? I'm not laughing, I'm shooting. Anyway, it's all shooting. This fella nearly ends up on fire. Oh, aye. Then we get more Spielberg gore. Oh, no, the staff of Ra thing's on fire, nearly. He turns round and gets shot in the head, and all blood sprays out. There we go. How does he get away with it? I don't know. PG. Unbelievable. So he's gone. Anyway, here comes Pat Roach in the first of his 2 roles in this film. There he was as Giant Sherpa. But, it's not showing him, but there he is. She whacks him on the head. Doesn't kill him. Anyway, the Giant Sherpa has grabbed hold of Indiana. Here he is. So they're fighting away. Oh, aye. And Tot says, shoot them both. Don't say shoot the glass, like Alan Rickman in Die Hard. Well, shoot them both. So like, huh? So they shoot that fella, they're going to shoot them both. But them two continue fighting for some reason. I thought, but they're both on the same side now, you think. But anyway, whatever. So they continue fighting. Tote grabs hold. There it is. Grabs hold of the headpiece to the staff of Ra. Headpiece to the staff of HTTSOFA. No, SOA, whatever. But it's red hot because it's been on fire, and he burns his hand. Look, like that. And it all, and then he drops it again and runs out, jumping through the window. Meanwhile, Indiana's still fighting Pat Roach. There we go, punches him in the face. He's outside, hopping about, putting his hand in the snow. And this fella's gonna... Indiana just sees off Pat Roach. But this fella's gonna shoot Indiana. And he's like, and then there'll be a gunshot. But it's not his gun. It was Marion's gun. She shot him and saved Indy's life. And she says, "Me thingy-my-bob," and goes and grabs it, luckily not with a bare hand. With a super... just a tissue... what do you call it? A handkerchief that just... she don't feel any heat. But anyway... so, anyway, her place is burning down, and there we go. Now she says, "You got your more than you bargained for. I'm your goddamn partner." And so off they go on another red line, heading away from Nepal. Because she wants her $3,000 back by there, because it's just burnt down in the rest of her bar. So off they go from Nepal, across India, via Karachi, which, as you can see, is not in Pakistan, which it is now. It's in West India. I don't know what the area were called at the time, but anyway. Which is why India and Pakistan don't get on, because Pakistan is now independent from India. But anyway, over Iran, it became Iran in 1935. Before that, it was Persia, wasn't it? But 1935 it became Iran. Over Iraq, no Saddam Hussein's in sight, and then over Jordan and Palestine. Not saying anything. To Cairo, where I've been to Cairo. It didn't look like this, though, I'm telling you. But you know why? Because this isn't Cairo. But it kind of is, spookily enough. Anyway, so here's with me in John Rhys Davies as Salah. Here he is. Cairo, city of the living, a paradise on earth. No, I've been to Cairo. It's not a paradise on earth. But is it going to show it, for crying out loud? There we go. Paradise on earth. But, there we go. Bloody hell. There we go. It's actually, it was filmed in Tunisia with this, because I think Robert Watts, who was the associate producer on this and producer on the next two Indiana Jones films, he was also a producer on Star Wars, I think all three Star Wars original trilogy films. Passed away recently, didn't he, Robert Watts? One of the unsung heroes of essentially George Lucas's catalogue. But he was also the third unit director on Star Wars. Anyway, he was the producer, and he said to Steven Spielberg, "Are we going to see the Sphinx and the pyramids, when we go to Cairo?" And he says, "Well, no." And he says, "Right, fair enough. We don't need to go to Egypt then. We'll go to Tunisia, because we've filmed there before in Star Wars, so that's where we're going to go." And they found this town, which were called something like Kairouan, which actually means Little Cairo, spookily enough. But so they found this town. But then they realised that all the buildings had big, massive TV aerials on top, so that to send guys out to take all the TV aerials down. Did they miss any? Probably. I'm just looking and seeing if we can see any that they missed. I bet they have somewhere. But anyway, so there they are, looking out over Cairo. And this is where we get introduced to the traitorous monkey. There it is. Deserves everything it gets in this film. It's a little shit, is this monkey. I hate the damn thing. Go away, fly. It's a friend of the monkeys, this fly. It's dive bombing me. So she says, "Oh, what an adorable creature. Oh, then it is welcome in our house." No, I didn't mean it. Anyway, but it's covered in fleas and all. Right, so anyway, so they're getting down to business. Is Indy and Salah, and they say there is not one brain among them except one. So there is one then, and he calls him Balosh. So he laughs. "Ah, no, it's Balak." Anyway, so they're close to finding the Well of the Souls, and says they're not going to find it without this. Says maybe A man I know can help us. Anyway, so he warns him about the Ark. Says maybe we shouldn't find it because it's not of this earth. It is not of this earth. Anyway, they're off having a stroll round the town of Cairo. I said, it didn't look like this when I went. It's whatever. I'm not going to pass judgment. Anyway, I saw the pyramids and the Sphinx. I was happy. Right, where were we? So they're having a wander about, and it runs off. Does the monkey? And she says, "Oh, where are you going?" Because she's become attached to it now. She says, "Oh no, have a date," and she doesn't know what a date is apparently. But anyway, goes running off to this. Its owner. There he is. Who's got an eye patch? There he goes. You know he's a baddie because he's got an eye patch. So anyway, yeah. Now then, what happens here now? If you watch, I don't know what happens. There's a shovel there, and it just falls over, or somebody that's holding it just walks off, and the shovel falls. Are you ready? Look. Why did you just walk off and leave his shovel? Don't know. Anyway, so they're having a shufty round town, being followed by the man and his squirrel and his monkey. Justin's think, you think aliens built them or helped? They didn't build them. They were built for the aliens by humans. Well, no, they weren't. They were built in honour of the aliens, like the runways in Polynesia and that, and in the what they call them, cargo cult and all that. They used to build runways, didn't they, from the aeroplanes that landed there in World War II. That's what the pyramids are. They're a recreation, either of the alien ships that landed or the landing platforms. Probably. Anyway, where were we? We see they're being watched. Look, there they are. They're being watched by people who speak German. There we go. And he comes out and he says something in German to these Egyptians. So, do they know what he's saying? Don't know. But off they go to deal with Indian Marion. Not Indian Marion, Indy and Marion. Anyway, so there they are, looking. All these baddies arrive. There we go. So they have a big fight now, punching and all that stuff. It has Marion to get out of there, and this fella nearly gets got by all these oranges. Well, he does gets got by a sword, and. We're going to see it. Here we go. Are you ready now? He gets run through, and then Indy runs off. And then when we see him again, he's turned round. So he's also gone, staggered round. But he's got oranges stuck through him. There we go. So, anyway, Indy chucks Marion on this cart, and off that goes. So he uses his whip, and hang on, where are we? He uses his whip and to fight off the other chaps. And she's getting chased by this fella with teeth that look just like mine. Where are we? Where is he? There he is. Justin says, I think it was a power plant. Very, very well could have been. Or there was some sort of power in it, wasn't there? For whatever reason, I don't know. But I think it either generated power or it stored power in some way. I don't know. But there is evidence of that in the subterranean chamber and places like that. Anyway, where were we? Yes, she's got her frying pan. He's got his knife and he's laughing at her. Ha 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 ha. That's got better teeth than me. Anyway, so she goes running off and then she clonks him with the frying pan. Presumably she kills him to death. And then she hides in this basket as the others go running by. But the little shit of a monkey bloody tells everybody where she is. Look, little get. Look, and it's going. Hang on, let's go back and I'll show it. Telling them, look, she's here. Look, hateful little bloody thing. Anyway, right. So she gets caught now. So she's been caught, but Indy is still looking for her. There you go, shouting out Marion, and then we have the famous scene where the crowd parts. By the way, you can see all these people. Watch these people. They're just like walking around in circles. They're just like walking to here and walking back again. Look, what's this? Look, I just walked around and walked back. They're milling around. Hello, Gambit 1987. They're all just milling around. Probably that their orders from the assistant director. Just mill around. Don't make it too obvious, but he did. Anyway, the crowd parts to reveal a swordsman in black. There he is. And they were actually going to do a big long scene, which they did actually rehearse. It's in the behind the scenes that they were going to use his whip and fighting with his whip and all that. And there was going to be a scene where there's this fella behind chopping his meat, and the swordsman, had cut his big lump of meat in half with his sword and all that. But when it came to shoot it, most of the crew were ill. They all had the shits. They had dysentery or something from the local food. All except from Steven Spielberg, because he ate from cans. Apparently, he just ate SpaghettiOs, apparently. And he was fine, but everybody else were ill. I mean, there's John Rhys Davies tells about he just crapped his jalaba, or whatever it's called, and he didn't care. But yes, they were all ill. So he said, "Can I just shoot him?" So they just shot him. And it became an iconic scene because it's hilarious, isn't it? And then they went back to it, didn't they, in Temple of Doom, which kind of didn't work because Temple of Doom happens before this, and he goes to his pistol, his holster, and it's not there. Anyway, Gambit says there was originally supposed to be a fight between the Arab swordsman and Indy, but Spielberg and the rest of the crew got ill. Yes, they did. Yes, from eating the food. It was probably too rich. Turned out that I got ill. When I went to Egypt many years ago, we were taken. We jumped in a taxi outside the hotel, and he says, "I shall take you to a wonderful place to eat." So we went to this place to eat, and the food were gorgeous. It was really nice. I've no idea what it was, but it was really, really nice. Hardly cost anything. The next day, I was really ill. But anyway, so I'm blaming that. Harrison suggested that he shoot the swordsman in one split second. Yes, he did. That's it. And an iconic scene was born. Anyway, so he does shoot him. For some reason, everybody cheers. I don't know why, but they do. Maybe this swordsman were not a nice person, and everybody were glad to see the back of him. Anyway, Indy continues chasing after Marion because he can hear her. He can hear her big fat gob. So he's chasing her down all these alleys in Cairo. And there's my cat! What's Princess? You're here, Prince. You're on TV, Princess. Look, you were in Raiders of the Lost Ark. She's not listening. She's not even looking at me. Looks just like my cat, that. Ish. So here he is. And anyway, so then he comes out of this alley and then he's presented with a sea of baskets. So he goes knocking them all over. And they're all just like going, "Hey, what you doing?" Instead of just diving on him and kicking the poo out of him. But anyway. So he's following her now. We can hear her all the time going, "Indy!" So have they put a speaker in one of the baskets? Because spoilers, the basket that they put in the truck is not the one with Marion in. But anyway. So you see, put the basket in this truck while this other fella's shooting at Indy. I'm going to have to listen to these sounds again. Great sound effects. I love them. Into the back of this truck, which is, for some reason or not, there's lots of high explosives in it, and bullets and rifles and everything, and it just has. So they put it in there. Indy gives some money to some beggars. Anyway, and then he just shoots this fella. Boom! Blows him away. Shoots this fella in the head. Boom! PG! For Christ's sake. PG. So he dies. Oh, and the truck goes over. If you watch it, actually, you can see there that they used a hydraulic ram, didn't they, to make the truck tip over. You can see there where it does it there. And you can actually see it in a moment. When it's on its there, it is. There's the hydraulic ram that came out and pushed the truck over, and it blows up like that. I'm not surprised with all those high explosives on. So obviously, Indy thinks. By the way, this was the last shot of. I don't know if of the film entirely, but the last shot in Tunisia, and I think they went somewhere a bit cooler because it was really, really hot in Tunisia, and this was the last shot. that they did. And they said, that's it, yeah, that's a wrap. We can go somewhere cooler now. I don't know if they went back to England or what, I don't know. But I don't know what order stuff was shot in. Actually, I should know because I've just watched it on the blue. Where have I put it? On the Blu-ray. Robert Watts telling us where they went, in what order, and I've forgotten already because I'm stupid. Anyway, so he thinks Marion's dead, so now he's going to get Kaylied on whatever's in there, and the monkey's helping him. Traitorous little get. It's because of you, she was captured. But Indy doesn't know that. Gambit says, this is a great scene. It is. They all are in this film. And John Williams really sets the tone with his music. Yes, he does. Great score. One of his best. Maybe she's still in that basket there. But she's shut up now. Anyway, so they're getting drunk. There's the bad guy, by the way. The owner of the monkey there. It reminds me of somebody, and I can't think who. Is it Tom Baker? I know he doesn't look much like Tom Baker, but I get that vibe. When he were in that Sinbad film. Anyway, some Germans arrive and say, somebody wants to see you, Herr Jones. Or words to that effect. So in he goes. But it's Belak, there he is. So Belak's smoking his, what they call him? Hookah, or whatever they call them. I don't know what's in them. What is in a hookah? Is it drugs? I don't know. Is it hashish? Or, I don't know, because I'm not into that sort of thing. But he's smoking anyway, and boozing as well. And this is where Indiana Jones sits down, and all I can see is the fan behind him flickering where his eyelashes would be. But anyway, so he sits down, and they have a little chat. There it is. Look. That does me head in. Look. That's all. CG out, for God's sake. Anyway. So, saying it's sad Marion's died, but I think Indy just wants to die now. He goes on about, the Ark, and he wants to find the Ark, blah, blah, blah. And this watch, it's worthless, he says. $10 from a vendor in the market. As I said, 1936 dollars. Right, what would that be now? What would that be now? What would $10 be worth in 19... Where are we? $200, $231 today, tell you. Gambit says, because Williams recorded the soundtrack in January 1981 at Anvil Studios, I know that by having read it online from a booklet. That's where I get all my information from. Online. Or behind the scenes. Where were we? It's worthless. Bury it in the sand for 1,000 years. Men will kill for it. Men like you and me. Blah, blah, blah. So he says the Ark is a transmitter for speaking to God. And he says, let's go see him together. So he's willing to die. He doesn't care. He's got a death wish as Indy because of Marion, going. But so he's going to pull his gun out. But then everybody else pulls their guns out because, as we were watching, they were handing out guns in the background. To all these Egyptians. But then loads of kids come running in, and Indy decides he doesn't want to die anymore. So he goes with the kids as a human shield. And all the other fellas come out, still got the guns. So have the Germans just given them guns, and now there's going to be like a civil uprising? Don't know. Anyway, tells Salah, Marion's dead, says, I know, but, life goes on. I said, no, bloody hell. Anyway, the monkey is still there. Look, little shit. Look, it's taking instructions. Look, it's saying, look, go back. And it understands him because it's intelligent. It's a little person. Anyway, so they're going to go see the old man. Here we are. They're going to see the old man who's going to translate the stuff that's on the headpiece to the Staff of Ra. Anyway, meanwhile, at this fella's house, the eye patch guy puts some poison on some dates. There he is. Putting some poison on some dates. Sneaks out again. They're none the wiser. He obviously didn't tell the monkey we were going to do this. But anyway. It's where we learned that the Germans have got their own headpiece to the Staff of Ra, but it's just got markings on one side, and they've started digging in a new place. But anyway, so meanwhile, this fella has worked out what it says on the headpiece, and I don't. Is this supposed to be Egyptian, or is it supposed to be like an Indian guru or whatever? I don't know, but anyway, he says the tells you how big the staff is supposed to be. Is it 6 katan high? But take back one. It says on the other side, but take back 1 katan to honour the Hebrew god. Is it katan? I thought it was katan. Whatever. There's kadam there. Anyway, to honour the Hebrew god whose ark this is. So it says, oh, they've got the wrong size because it's only they've only got the one. Good job they had the right, not the just and take back 1 kadam, innit? It just didn't have that side. Anyway, they're digging in the wrong place, and obviously then Salah starts singing because he can't help himself. But Indy's about to eat this date that is thrown up in the air, but Salah catches it. Says bad date because the monkey's eaten one and died. So there. Right, we're at Tanis now. By the way, I don't think Tanis is supposed to be that far from Cairo in this film, but Belloc says later on the desert is 3 weeks in every direction on foot, so I think he's fibbing. But anyway, here we are at Tanis with their strong backs they only paid pennies for. Probably much like Paramount did for all these extras, but anyway. So here comes Indy and Salah in disguise, but not really, standing out like a sore thumb, aren't they? They're out the well of the souls. Act natural with a big rope. Anyway, in he goes, and I say, act natural, and just all these this caravan of people, whoever they are, just they're pretending they've not seen them. Anyway, so in he goes into the chamber, which looks cool. Something from Tomb Raider, isn't it? As I said, Lara Croft is taking notes. Right, so here is the city, all laid out on the floor. There we go. The old city of Tanis. It had obelisks and a little pyramid in the distance. Anyway, while he's doing all that, Salah gets caught, and they say, "Oh, what you doing there?" in German, and the rush him away. But meanwhile, Indy's doing his archaeology. There we go, reading this. I don't know what it says. If anybody knows what it says, tell us. There's a cartouche there, so that must be somebody's name. I'm guessing it says, "Go up to that hole there." Somebody's already stuck something in that hole, so I'm guessing this is the place where Belloc stuck his staff in. I'm guessing he stuck it in there to get their location for digging for the Well of Souls. No, this is the Well of Souls, isn't it? For wherever the Ark is. Or the Ark's at the Well of... This is the map room, isn't it? For the Well of Souls. But he doesn't know. It must say here, because this were all covered in sand, so obviously Belloc didn't read this bit. So maybe this says, go to that hole there, but then come back a couple of holes, because that's what he does. He goes up there. Hang on, where are we? Takes notes, look. There we go, goes to there, and then comes back a couple of holes, and that's the one he should have used. Anyway, meanwhile, Salah's up to something. Anyway, so there he goes. So he puts the staff in. So how do they measure the staff? So is it supposed to be 5 feet, isn't it? Because they say it was on the one side. It said 6 kadams high, 72 inches, which is 6 feet. But the take back one, so it's obviously 5 feet tall, 60 inches. But is that including the bit that goes in the end of the staff, and also the bit that goes in there? Because I'm guessing, millimeters count on this scale model of the city. I don't know. I'd be making staffs of all sizes to account for the discrepancies. But anyway, he shoves it in, and then we saw what the staff, the crystal did with a candle. Now imagine what it'll do with sunlight. It does this. in a minute when it's ready. There we go. It fires a laser or whatever across and tells him where it's going to be. Sorry, Gambit, I've missed out some of your chats. The filming of this movie began from June to October 1980, whereas principal photography plus the special effect matte work ended in November. Yeah, look on IMDb, it says here, June to September filming dates. But yes, obviously the other stuff happened afterwards. Post-production and all that. Paul Freeman, brilliant casting as Belloc. Yes, he is, and he's not dead. They were trying to get Danny DeVito out of the sitcom Taxi to play Salah. God, that'd be awful. Well, it would. But Danny couldn't do it, so Spielberg got John Rhys Davies, a much better choice in my opinion. Imagine Danny DeVito or Salah. Bloody hell. All I can see is the little satire thing that he played in Hercules, you know, the animated Hercules. All I can see in my mind's eye. Anyway, ancient Egypt is fascinating. Yes, it is. There's Justin Gambit says, again, the lighting and dolly tracks of this one is multi-dimensional thanks to Douglas Slocum. Yes, the Well of Souls. Yes, I will get me Well of Souls and Map Room mixed up, won't I? Stephen kept telling Douglas, let's do this as old-fashioned adventure film. Yes, and they wanted to cut costs and they wanted to do it like the old serials, didn't they? And do it quick and dirty. That's how they wanted to do it. But it still cost them $20 million, which wasn't a huge amount, even back then. Anyway, Salah's off to a tent. Is this his tent he goes into? There was that salute. Just happens to have a Nazi flag in his tent, I'm guessing. Indy's doing his measuring and taking his notes, and then breaks his staff in half. If anybody finds it, just put it back together again, then you'll know. Whatever. But the rope's gone, obviously. So he's saying, I think maybe he's been, probably, you know, Satipo at the beginning betrayed him. He thinks maybe he's been betrayed again. But hang on. But no, he hasn't. Salah, and there we go. He's got a Nazi flag. Climbs up. Right, so here they are, heading back through the camp. I think there's a deleted scene here. I'm not sure if they filmed it or not. But in the behind the scenes, it shows Steven Spielberg going through what he wanted Harrison Ford to do. There's supposed to be like another chase scene here. And one of the German soldiers were going to grab Indy, and then somebody on the other side were going to shout something else. And basically, Indiana Jones were going to like jump over the table and go running off, and there was going to be a chase scene. But then I think they just changed it so that Salah just says, "Oh no, I will get you water," and all that stuff. So off he goes. He just happens to duck into a random tent. Because he sees these chaps and he just, about faces and just ducks into this random tent. But it just happens to have Marion in it. So, what are the odds of that? God working in his mysterious ways. So anyway, he says, I thought you were dead and they must have switched baskets. Do you reckon? So he's about to untie her. She's saying, quick, untie me. But he says, if I untie you now, if I take you away now, they'll start searching for you, and I know where the Ark is, so you've got to wait here. And she's not happy about that. So he ties her up again. So she's screaming her head off. Beep, beep, beep. Loads of beeps, shouldn't there? So off he goes. He got his theodolite or whatever he's looking through, and he finds the area where the Ark is, the Well of Souls. And he's looking, and oh, for Pete's sake, show us it. There we go. Is that where it is? Where he ends up digging? I don't know. It doesn't look very much like it, does it? But it might be. I don't know. It says there it is. Anyway, so off they go. Meanwhile, the Germans think, because they've not found the Ark yet, even though they seem to be digging everywhere, not just in one specific place. But anyway, never mind. The Germans were, the girl was in possession of the artifact for a long time. Maybe she knows more. We have a man who perfect for this kind of work. And here comes Ron Lacey again. And we see, there we go, he's got the thing on his hand. I bet it stings. Tom Selleck was first in line to play Indy for Raiders, but head of CBS Bob Dealey wanted him at the same time to be Magnum PI. Yes. He even did a screen test with Sean Young, which is on the discs, isn't it? From Magnum PI. Just as I think Tom Selleck would have been great. Yeah, he looked quite good in his screen test. I'm not sure about Sean Young as Marion. I think they dodged a bullet there. But anyway. So John went to Harrison Ford, but George Lucas hesitated taking him on. Yes, because he'd used him in American Graffiti and Star Wars, and obviously Empire Strikes Back. And he says he didn't want Harrison Ford to become his Robert De Niro, because Martin Scorsese, had Robert De Niro in a lot of films, didn't he? So he didn't want Harrison Ford to become his Robert De Niro. But tough, he did. Right, so where were we? All right, Indy's he's found the place now where they're going to start digging with his weird-shaped shovel. And it's off they go, and they're digging away at sunset. And so he decides he's going to take his disguise off and just put his regular clothes on for some bizarre reason. Because Indiana Jones must be some sort of frigging idiot. I don't know, but what's he playing at? Maybe because it's nearly night time. He thinks nobody will see me at night. Anyway, so there they are, digging away. Not digging right much, are they? I mean, it's only like 2 inches below the surface, isn't it? But anyway. There's a storm brewing in the background. It's like cool ILM effects. Probably Richard Edlund probably did this sort of stuff. Was it Richard Edlund? Can't remember. Might have been. It's like, it's the cloud. It's in the water tank, and oil and water sort of effects in it where they do this. There's all lightning happening. So there we go, they're digging away. And they find the entrance, and there we go, they find the edges, and open it up, bring in the pry bars, and we see inside the Well of Souls, a big statue of somebody. But somehow Stephen persuaded him, yeah. Ron Lissett proves to be a perfect tote. Yes, he does. Great scene. They're all great scenes. Oops. Anyway, so here we go. So they're going to go in. Oh, so why is the floor moving? Anyway, so he throws down one of his torches, and we see, there we go. It's all snakes. Oh, no, various. Don't ask me what sort of snakes there are. We see a couple of cobras and some pythons, don't we? And loads of others. I don't know, garter snakes. I don't know about snakes. But they had 2,000 snakes originally in this set, which is at Elstree. All the studio scenes were filmed at Elstree Studios. There are 2,000 snakes, and that wasn't enough. The set was so big. Obviously, Spielberg wanted it filled with snakes, and they just kept wriggling about and leaving big gaps. So they got 5,000 more from Holland, of all places. So they ended up with 7,000 snakes, and that was just right, apparently. So there they are. And the noises. Hang on, let's have a listen. Now, you can hear the noises of the snakes moving about. It's not actually the sound of snakes. It's Ben Burt's wife's chicken casserole. So I don't know if she made it specially for him to do the sound effect, or if he just shoved his hands in her chicken casserole and made a squidgy sound with it and recorded it. I bet we're always doing stuff like that. I bet it's a nightmare around the house, just recording things. I'm having a shit. Get the microphone away. Anyway, yeah, so that's the noise of the snakes, because they were really quiet and they didn't make any noise hardly at all. So they had that squidgy noise and hissing and stuff like that. Animals are generally really quiet when you don't want them to be. But anyway, so you can see actually big gaps there. Look, they just shoved all the snakes in the middle, haven't they? Right, so down it goes. I said snakes. Why did it have to be snakes? Because remember, he hates snakes. I hate snakes, Reggie. What did I call it? I called it something else at the beginning, didn't I? Jock. Who's Reggie? I don't know. I hate snakes, Jock. What the hell's Reggie? No idea. Anyway, asps, very dangerous. You go first, he says. Meanwhile, Belloc's arrived back and released Marion. She can't escape. This is where he tells her the desert is 3 weeks in every direction, which it ain't. But she's eating some cheese and bread and apples and stuff like that. And he wants her to wear this dress. She says, I bet you do. So, anyway, so he has a gander at her in the mirror. And now he gets out his family vintage. I'm not sure. The snake is Reggie. Yes, it is. That's where Reggie comes from. Thank you, Justin. I knew I'd heard it somewhere. Jock with the pilot, Reggie with the snake. Justin says, snakes I could deal with, but spiders, ew. So you didn't like Temple of Doom, then, with all the creepy crawlers in it. Or the beginning of this film with the tarantulas. Gambit says, the whole idea of Rage just comes from the fact that Spielberg wanted to make a Bond film. Yes, I did this earlier on. As far as 1977, possibly though 79, but Cubby told him no, considering that he was too American. What? What's that got to do with that? I mean, they had Americans writing the James Bond scripts, did Cubby, so how bizarre. They obviously just wanted British directors, didn't they, I imagine. Anyway. Oh, and that would have jeopardised the Britishness of James Bond, even though, as I said, they had Americans writing the scripts. Yeah, I forgot his name now. Mankiewicz. I forgot his first name. Him. Snakes, why do you have to be snakes? That's very dangerous. You go first. Yes. Anyway, so she puts the dress on for Belloc, and very nice she looks in it too. Marion, you are beautiful. So they're going to get Kaylight now on his whatever they're drinking. I don't know. Is it? It's not wine, is it? It doesn't look like wine. Is it some sort? Because they have little. They don't have like a big glass full of wine. They have little shots of it. So is it? Is it a spirit? Is that cognac or something? Or what else do they drink in France? I can't remember what they call it. It's like brandy, isn't there? Like a clear cherry. I don't know. Some sort of brandy, isn't there? I don't know. Whatever. It was also based on the old serial films, yes it was. But George said, don't worry, I've got that beat, yes, about James Bond, yes. Right, so down he goes, and he falls and nearly gets got by the Cobra. If you remember in the original theatrical version, before CG came along and tidied it up, you could see the reflection, couldn't you, of the Cobra in the glass between them, but they've got rid of that now. Although I think you can still see it a little bit when Marion encounters it in a bit. Is it Schnapps? I don't know. I thought Schnapps were German. I don't know, whatever. See if it tells. I'm going to look it up and see if it tells us. What is Belloc and Marion drinking in Raiders? See if it tells. Oh, here we go. Somebody's asked that. See. Right. Well, this page, somebody's little link, suggests it's a clear Tunisian fig brandy called Buka Bokopsa. So if you look at the label, it does have Arabic writing on. But I don't know how reliable it is. The bottle pictured there is similar, but definitely not the same as the bottle in the screenshot. That's because it's a replica. That says it's some sort of distilled spirit, some sort of brandy. I say, like cognac or something. I don't know. I found the script for the film. In the script, the liquid is constantly referred by the word liquor. For example, Belloc pours liquor into glass. Sound of liquor in glasses. So that's just a general term, innit? I don't think we're ever going to know, are we? I don't think we're ever going to know what it is. Yes, he may be a Strasbourg French, yes, because they're up there in the northeast of France, aren't they? The set was shot in a combination of Elstree Studios as well as in Tunisia at the live location. Yes. The exteriors were in Tunisia. The interiors at Elstree. Might be white wine. I'm not sure, because like I said, they have shots. They have little shots of it. They don't have a big golloping glass of it. Anyway, whatever. It gets them drunk, anyway. Told you it would be alright. Anyway, so now he's going to set fire to all the snakes. All right, by the way, he tells Salah to get down there. He goes, me? But now he's just going to burn all the snakes because he's evil. There we go. Poor snakes. I'm sure they're all fine. All the snakes are fine. They're all in catering with the monkey. They're all okay. Right, so here we are. They're going to get drunk now on whatever they are drinking. Look, it's like got Arabic writing on it, hasn't it? So, I know it's 1936, but I don't know about Egypt. I know you can buy alcohol in Egypt in like hotels, but I thought, being Muslims and stuff, I thought they weren't allowed to drink alcohol. But anyway, maybe it was different back then. I don't know. Anyways, there they are drinking away, and that's it. He gulps it down, and then he gulps his down, and then goes. So it's obviously a liquor of some sort, a spirit in it. Maybe it's like a vodka or something. I don't know. Anyway, so there we go. They found the resting place of the Ark of the Covenant. Can we see R2 and 3PO on the thing in the background? I can't really make it out. We do see it at some point, don't we? Right, so here we go. They're going to get in here now. They've got their radiation-proof clothes on because the Ark of the Covenant's a nuclear reactor. Isn't it, Justin? Made by Alien Design. Could be a clear brandy called Eau de Vie. Sounds very nice, doesn't it? Water of life, isn't it? Eau de Vie. Yes, maybe it is that. We will call it that from now on because it sounds cool. Eau de Vie. Anyway, so here we go. They're going to open this up. There we go. And throwing the tabernacle off, or whatever it is. They're getting drunker and drunker. But she's just pretending to be drunk. Because remember, she can hold her liquor. And she pulls a knife on him. They've got to be going. But excuse me. In comes Tot. So, you Americans always overdressing for the wrong occasion. Oh, sorry, makeuping. Take two. Look at her hands, by the way. She's got lovely hands. It's Karen Allen. Got lovely hands. It may not have been put in barrels to get the colourings. I know nothing about distillery. Anyway, so here comes Tot. They're all scared. He's going to get out his nunchucks and beat them to death, but it's not because it's a coat hanger. But it's a coat hanger. Hang on, where are we? For Pete's sake. There we go. It's a coat hanger. And just gives it to this fella. This fella just stands there with the coat hanger. Doesn't hang it up anyway, just stands there holding it. He could have held the coat, but anyway. Why are we always hated? You're not always hated, you Americans. Some of the time. But remember, he's been a Nazi, so he's got to say bad things about Americans. Always overdressing for the wrong occasion. But it wasn't her fault. It was Belloc that told her to put the dress on, wasn't it? But anyway. Right, so they're going to get the Ark out of the of whatever it is, this thing that it's in. Why is it glowing? It's the it's whatever were in the suitcase in Pulp Fiction, isn't it? The thing from the back of Ving Rhames' head. Anyway, look in the background, see if you can see R2 and 3PO. I know we see them at some point somewhere. So here we go, lift it out. There it is. There's the Ark of the Covenant. I love this design of these cherubs because we don't know exactly what it looked like, do we? And the cherub designs, vary from depiction to depiction. But I think this is the best one because it just looks cool, doesn't it? With them outstretched wings meeting in the middle. Just looks cool. Anyway, so here we go. Right. I bet they're here somewhere. Are they? Can we see them? Can't see them. Right, so here we see him in shadow. This I don't think this is Harrison Ford and Alfred Molina, but just it's like a what you call it, pick-up shot or whatever. And it's not actually the Ark of the Covenant that they're carrying. It's just a cardboard cutout just for the shadow. Somewhere in these is R2D2 and C3PO. somewhere, but I'm not exactly sure where. Anyway, so here they come with it. Hang on, is it one of these? I don't think it is it? No. Right, so anyway, they shove it in a crate and off it goes back up to the surface, and then they'd find he's just fast asleep. Look, they're not just asleep. They see them pulling something out of the ground, and he's like, "Colonel, wake your men!" So anyway, so they're all going to get captured now. Here we are. So they trap Indy down there, and they throw Marion down in as well. Here we go. Here comes Marion, throwing her to her death essentially, because they didn't know she was going to. There we go. It's a long way down. They didn't know she was going to hang on to that, did they? So, evil buggers. But anyway, she falls. He catches her. There's Indy, sort of. And he says, "Let go of me." And this is where she sees there we go, the cobra. But I think you can just see its reflection. There you go. You can see its reflection there. Look. So, just pointing that out. Anyway, I like this bit as well, where she's climbing all over him. She's climbing all over Indy. I do like that. Makes me laugh. Right. So, there goes. Not to be, Shelley. Indiana Jones, adieu. So off they go. Shut them in for all eternity. Anyway, they've got to find a way out now. She burns. She sees his whip, thinks it's a snake. By the way, it's kangaroo skin, apparently. Or kangaroo hide. I didn't know kangaroos had hide, but kangaroo hide. I don't know if that's true or not. Do they make whips out of kangaroo hide? When I was a kid at school, my PE teacher, told me, and I believed him because I'm an idiot, that basketballs were made from kangaroo skin, which is why they bounce so well. I honestly, genuinely believed that for ages, till I came to my senses. But anyway. Maybe that's why they whip so well, because the kangaroo skin. I don't know. Anyway, so he's trying to work out. He says, we'll go through that wall, because he sees all snakes coming through holes in the wall. Yes, Indy says Jesus, he does, yes, because he takes the Lord's name in vain. Anyway, he's going to somehow make this... but before he does this, he's got to burn another snake, because he loves burning snakes. It's his favourite thing to do. Keep a lookout for R2 and 3PO and these hieroglyphs in the background. They're in there somewhere. Meanwhile, there's Apophyse's sign from Stargate. So obviously Teal'c's been down there, maybe. Anyway, yeah, he's going to somehow get this huge statue that's either made of sandstone or granite. It's stone anyway. He's going to get that rocking. The flame's going out, so he gets it rocking, off it goes. By the way, he tells her, "No matter what happens to me, head through the hole that it makes." Because he was actually the stuntman, because you see it here, as it goes down. The stuntman that's riding the statue, I think was supposed to either run up it or get over it somehow and go through the hole it makes, but he didn't. He didn't get a chance to do that. And I think this was probably a one-take shot. It'd be really hard to set up again, wouldn't it? But whatever, it'll do. Anyway, so she climbs over. Indy's buggered off somewhere to explore. And now she's going to get attacked by dead bodies that scream and wail and stuff somehow. Here we go. I don't know how they're making noises. Oh, Pete's sake. Here we go. Look, they're all at it, look. So obviously, I don't know. I wonder if he's using the same bodies that would later get used in Poltergeist a year later. Because the story that's they use real skeletons or real dead bodies. I know they use real skeletons, don't they, in films a lot, because they're cheaper than fake ones. So if that's the case here, I don't know. Actual human skeletons, with stuff stuck on to make them look like dead bodies. Not actual dead bodies. Anyway, here they are, all coming to get her, and she's freaking out, obviously. Who are they? Are they people? Are they, just people that got in and were trapped, or the people that were buried there deliberately? Are they the slaves that dug it out, even though slaves didn't really do this sort of thing back in ancient Egypt? But never mind. I don't know. But they're there anyway. And one's even got a snake in its gob. In a minute. There we go. For the icing on the cake. Anyway, Indy arrives and off they go. And they find a back door. But sort of. A rear entrance. Or exit. And there we go. They push this block out the way. There we go. Push that block out. Strong, isn't it? But anyway, they push that out of the way and they see that there's some sort of flying wing aircraft, propeller-driven aircraft there waiting on a little runway. Don't know what sort of aircraft it is. Does it say in the whatchamacallit? Bear with me. In the trivia on YouTube, that's what I'm on about. What are you doing, princess? What have I done here? I'll just type in plane. Does it say what sort? Is it or just a made-up plane? I don't know. I'm trying to find out. See if it says. Gambit's probably telling me what it is right now. Don't think it's going to say. I suspect it might just be a made-up plane. I don't know. It's kind of a little bit like, what is it, the Horton, whatever they were called, flying wings. But they were jets, weren't they? That the Germans made towards the end of the Second World War. So, hang on, I just saw it something then. What was that? The flying wing in the fighting scene in Egypt is not a real plane. Right, it was designed for the movie by production designer Norman Reynolds and built by Vickers. It was inspired by several German flying wing designs of the time period. Right, fair enough. Justin says, I think they stopped using real skeletons in the mid-80s. Okie dokie. Because it's just not good optics, is it? Anyway, so they're going to get out here. And now we're going to see a little fella. There we go. They get out. I wonder for ages, until today actually, this fella is here who's just ligged out. And I thought, has he been crushed by the rock, the stone, whatever, the block that he just pushed out? Or that's the block, isn't it, there? Or were he hit by it? I don't know. Knocked out or killed? I don't know. But in deleted scene that's it's on the disc, he actually encounters Indy. Indy pushes the block out, pokes his head out, sees this fella here who's in like a blue uniform and got a white turban on, and they just stare at each other, and he just lies down. As though he's terrified. He's just seen somebody come out of this tomb, as though he maybe thinks they're mummies or something. I don't know. But he just lies down, and that's why he's there. It's most bizarre. I'm not surprised they cut it out. Anywho, so off they go. Sneaking out. Nobody else sees them, even though there's loads of people about. But anyway, nobody sees them. They're going to fly out of here. They're saying they're going to fly to Berlin. Anyway, so Indy's going to start fighting people. Takes out this mechanic, this pilot. This is Frank Marshall, the producer of the film and future husband of Kathleen Kennedy. Pardon me. Who was an assistant to Spielberg on this film. Oh, there's the runway, look. Anyway, so he beats him up. These propellers, what were they made of? I did mention it in me. I said I'd done an audio commentary for it, which I'm going to upload probably tomorrow for members. I don't know what these propellers were made of. I don't know if that's in the. I didn't see anything in the behind the scenes about these propellers. I'm going to type that in, propellers. See if there's anything about them. I can't imagine they just use like wooden propellers or something like that. No, there's nothing about propellers. I probably spelt it wrong anyway. 1L. No, nothing there either. Never mind. I can't imagine they'd use like, solid propellers spinning around really fast. I don't know, they made of foam or just something. I don't know, but because you wouldn't think they'd risk it, in case of an accident, they accidentally fell into it or whatever. It could kill them, couldn't it, if it's made of wood? They're spinning really fast, look. So I'm guessing they're made of something soft, or like balsa wood or something, that'd just break if it hit them, I'm guessing. I don't know. But anyway, here he's fighting with him. And here comes Pat Roach again, showing how big and buff he is, because he used to be a wrestler back in the day in the UK, before he became an actor. So here he is coming, playing there. A big burly German fella, here he is, going, Gunnar, come here. That's how he speaks German. But it did appear in Auf Wiedersehen Pet, which were after this, which were a British comedy drama series about British builders in Germany. So luckily he played a German in this. Anyway, so they're going to start. He's dealing with this fella, sorts him out. Then he's going to deal with Frank Marshall. But before he has chance, here comes Pat Roach. Going, Gunnar, come here. Let's listen to it. Oh, he's going, hey, you now. He don't say that. He says, he says, Gunnar. Come here. Hang on. Hey, Gunnar. He says, hey, Gunnar. Or maybe you now. I don't know. I'm sure he said Gunnar. Whatever the gooner is, I don't know. Anyway, so she gets the chocks, and she's going to whack Frank Marshall with them chocks, probably killing him. But anyway, here he is. I do like this bit. Misses, gets one punch to the chin. He's down. Knees wobble. He's down. I'm guessing. The mechanic he's playing, the German he's playing, likes. He's probably the champion, innit, of the base. But anyway, so he's going to start cheating and biting and all that stuff. So they're fighting away. There we go. And hang on, is it this bit? This bit. He hits him and he spins the wrong way. Now watch this. So he hits him on this side. So he should go in that direction, shouldn't he? But he goes in the opposite direction. Look. How bizarre. Anyway, so carry on fighting. Oh, alright, just some. It's not pocket sand; it's ground sand. He throws that in his face. She's whacked, by the way. Oh, here we go. She's whacked Frank Marshall on the head with the chocks, probably killing him. But he lands on the controls, and it starts going in circles. Does the plane? So jeopardy, etc. Off it goes. One of the wings hits a petrol thing, fuel tanker thing, so petrol's pouring out under the plane. There it goes. She decides she's just going to start shooting Germans because she likes that. Look, she's been Luke Skywalker now, isn't she? Hey, I got one, but she gets loads of them. There we go. Boom, explosions. So on the other side, where Belloc and all that is, what's that blowing up? So, stay with the Ark. Anyway, so he nearly runs into the propeller, look. So, but anyway. Yes, I've just said that. I've been saying that for about the last 5 minutes, Gambit. You're not paying attention. So she's noticing what's going on. There's fuel about and flames. Not a good combination. They're still fighting away on the plane and off the plane. But, it gives as good as he gets, does Indy. Look, gives Pat Roach a good battering. PG. But anyway, there we go. But now he's going to get got by the propellers. Ah! PG. I know he didn't see it happen, but anyway, he can't get her out, but he does finally, shoots the thing and gets her out, and they go running across, and it's all going to blow up. And there we go. Cool. Anyway, so they're hiding now. Meanwhile, Salah, who were captured, remember, they caught him before. Top of the Well of the Souls. He was there with his hands on his head with a gun to it. Suddenly is free. Did he escape amid the commotion, or did they just let him go? I don't know. Maybe he's a double agent. Who knows? But anyway, they decide, have it put on the truck. We will drive it to Cairo. Or whatever he says. So that's what they do. But here comes Salah, just out of the blue, finds them. They're good at finding people in tents in this film, aren't they? The German boxer actor was going to have a bigger part in part 3. He was going to fight on the Zeppelin. Pat Roach, yes, he was going to be on that. And I think you just see him now on the ground heading towards the Zeppelin, don't they? But they cut it out for some reason, didn't they? He passed away in 2004, did Pat Roach. He was also in Never Say Never Again. Sean Connery fought him in the spa in Never Say Never Again, didn't he? Anyway, finds him in a tent and he says, if you still want the Ark, it has been loaded on a truck to Cairo. Truck, what truck? I love this truck, by the way. I think it's a cool design. Don't ask me what sort of truck it is. Anyway, here they are, loading it. Look, they've even sprayed on the Nazi symbology. On it goes. So off they go. They're heading for Cairo. So Indy says, I'm going after that truck. And he also says, I don't know, I'm making this up as I go. Anyway, he finds a horse in a tent, because everything's in tents. And off he goes on his white horse. To the music of John Williams. There we go. Right, so got to catch up to him now. So down he goes. They're all shooting at him, nearly killing each other. Jumping on the side of the truck. Yay! Fighting and action. By the way, you know, desert is 3 weeks in all directions. A lot of trees in this bit for desert. It's all 3 weeks in every direction, but never mind. Ooh, got a numb bum. Right, so anyway, so they're all falling out and stuff. Oh, we get a Wilhelm scream here. Hang on, where are we? You ready? Wilhelm scream. There we go. Ow! Is it the only one we get in the film? I don't know. It's the only one I've noticed. I'm sure there are more. So they're fighting away. Oh, they go. The truck goes through this poor Egyptians, Tunisians, whatever, building things, and now they're just destroying all their handiwork. And end up with some poor lad on the truck, and then they laugh, and then Indy punches him, and he falls out. Right, so Indy's in charge of the truck now. So off he goes. They start shooting at him, and all the other soldiers that are in the back of the truck decide to climb on the outside in a minute. But here we go. He knocks this car off, and we get a cool matte painting and a bit of stop motion there as they go down. That's stop motion animation against a matte painting, a matte painting, probably done by Michael Pangrazio, but I'm not entirely sure. Justin says, I think it's a Mercedes-Benz truck. I wouldn't be surprised, because that's a German brand, isn't it? Gambit says, can't get enough of this chase sequence. It's bloody great, he says, just like that. Sorry, I missed that from Gambit. And he worked for Paramount. Speaking of Paramount, Stephen and George wanted to get Raiders financed and pitched it to other studios. Most of them turned the duo down. But finally, Paramount seemed ideal. Yes, other studios took it on, didn't they? Thankfully. I mean, Paramount took it on. The other studios rejected it. Paramount took it on, thankfully. You'd have thought, you know, Fox would have been all for it, wouldn't you? After Star Wars and stuff. But anyway, they were mental at Fox, weren't they? Around about this time, or maybe a bit before, it was during when Empire Strikes Back. You know, the causing problems with Fox, weren't there? And Alan Ladd Jr. He quit during that time, didn't he? I'm sure he did. But anyway, always making bad decisions. Anyway, there they go. Plunging to their death 1,000,000 miles down. Right, so here we go. The soldiers start coming along the side of the truck, and he makes them fall off with these anti-Nazi palm trees. There ends up being just 2 left. So one chap comes along and shoots Indy in the arm. In a minute, hang on. There we go. See the blood on the window. Apparently, though, I think it's this bit. Hang on, where are we? There we go. Apparently, that's for some reason, I don't know why, They didn't want to use, fake blood, liquid blood, like a blood pack. So they used cayenne pepper for some weird reason. That's why it looks brown. And they were probably sneezing for the rest of the bloody scene. I don't know why. But you see blood spatter on the window. I don't know, but that's what they did. The punches in the arm with a bullet wound would hurt. Yes, they would. Yes, they would. We're going to get to that in a minute, aren't we? I honestly do defy anyone to say their movie today is better than this one. No, they're not. 'Cause this one's the greatest films ever made. It is amazing. I know I'm pointing stuff out, picking on it and stuff, but this is one of my favourite films of all time, which is why it's in my 100th episode. Anyway, he knocks this fella off, and then there's just one chap left. I think he's supposed to be like the sergeant or whatever. He's like in charge of the squad or whatever, the troop. Anyway, so he goes climbing over the top. He's a stuntman, by the way. I don't know his name. I can't remember. It did say in the behind the scenes, but I've forgotten. And he nearly got run over by this truck. Anyway, so in he goes. There he goes, starts punching the wound, look, because he's a baddie. He's a baddie. Kind of reminds me of Paul Hogan for some reason. I don't know why. So they're fighting away. All right, Chuck's Indy out. There we go. This scene makes me wince. Here we go. Hang on. Where is it? This next bit. Oh, for Pete's sake. That bit. it makes me wince, does that? How did they do that? I don't know. You can see, actually, he is fastened to something. You can see like a harness there, can't you? If I were Harrison Ford, because you can see that is Harrison Ford, fastened to the front of a truck, I would be shitting myself. It is him. But you can see the harness there that's holding him on. So I imagine it's perfectly safe, and probably a stuntman's done it before and said, look, it's perfectly safe. I still wouldn't want to do it. Because the truck might not be going very fast, but I still won't want to do it. Gambit says, and it's great how the crew shot from the truck back and forth with their camera setups. Filmology baffles me sometimes. That hurts from the glass window, yes. Movie magic it is. This was 1981, a year before I was born. Young'uns. I was 14 when this film came out. Anyway. Right, so there he is, dangling. Oh, so where he's going to do the Yakima Canutt. Is it Canuck? Oh, Canut, innit? Yakima Canutt. Stunt from Stagecoach, which was done in 1939. He's going to recreate that. Is this stuntman? Again, I forgot this stuntman's name. It's not the same stuntman as the fella that's in the truck. I forgot his name. Never mind. He's going under the truck. Here we go. I said they did it in Stagecoach. They went under a team of horses and under a stagecoach. Did Yakima Canutt. And now this other fella's doing it. He tried recreating it in a couple of years earlier or whatever, a year earlier, for the Lone Ranger, a Lone Ranger film, and he got hurt. It all went wrong, and he got hurt. Did the stuntman? The stagecoach ran him over, but he didn't break any bones. He just got hurt. So we're back at it. He wanted to try it again. It was his idea. He wanted to do it again with this truck. So that's what he did. But there wasn't enough clearance. For this. I forgot the pumpkin. That thing there. That is it the differential or whatever. I don't know. That bit there that's in the truck, and there wasn't enough room, not enough clearance for him to get under. So they actually dug a little trench, only about that deep, just enough for him to get out from underneath. Anyway, so here he is, being dragged along. He's going to pull himself back up, and I think a couple of the shots, but I'm not sure which ones, are actually Harrison Ford, because the show him doing this, and the stuntman saying, we'll pull you down there, and it starts a bit rough here, but it smooths out further down. But I don't know which. Oh, there he is. There he is. So that's Harrison Ford actually doing the stunt, but I think the rest of it is the other stuntman. He climbs back on and goes and sorts out baddie German fella and throws him out the window. Hang on, where are we? Throws him out the window. There we go. I think in real life he lands on a big. They've got like a big board fastened to the front of the truck, and with like pads on and stuff. And he landed on it and fell off. He rolled off, and luckily he rolled to the side just before the truck ran him over, because the truck's going about 25 miles an hour. So he'd have been run over, possibly killed, or at least very badly hurt. But luckily he got out of the way. But he gets run over in the film. PG. How'd they get away with it? I don't know. But that's the end of him. So Indy's fed up now, so he's going to ram him off the road, and off he goes to Cairo. Did Salah phone ahead and tell him that he were on his way? I don't know, but they're all waiting for him. Hang on, where are we? Here he comes. They're all waiting for him. Look, in, what does it say? Omar's garage. Because he's just saying, I'll meet you at Omar's. So, I said, they must have a phone. They must have, or a radio, or something. Or carrier pigeon or something. I don't know. They must have said he's on his way in this truck. Get ready. Anyway. Anywho. Where are we? What you done there? Hang on, the cat's just done something. You just knocked something over. You bloody have, haven't you, little sod? Behave yourself, you little shit. Bloody animal. Knocked over me can of pop that were over there. Where were we? Mercedes-Benz. That has to be from 29 to 30, or 33. If you say so, Gambit. Harrison loved doing his stunts also. Yes, he did. He liked getting into the thick of it. And he got on well with them, didn't he, the stuntmen. The stunt crew. Now that move that Indy makes beneath the car slides. Yes, I've done that. I said that. Harrison Ford sliding right here with his whip and then almost flinging out the car. Yeah, still hanging on it. Yes. Anywho, right, so they're hiding. Here comes this lot, the baddie guy, but not Tot, because he's not there, as you can see when we see him in a minute. It's just his hat. It's just his hat and the coat. I was thinking Ronald Lacey probably wasn't available, so I don't know, they took a pole and just put a hat on. They just get a stand-in. I don't know, but he's there. Throws melons at a dog. You hear the dog going, but he's not moving or anything. Look, is he asleep? But I don't know. There's obviously a standing there. Maybe he just scooched down. I don't know, but it's most bizarre. Right, so they've arrived in. They can't be Cairo now. They must be like in Alexandria or somewhere, because they're on the coast, because they're getting on the ship. So they must be in Alexandria, I'm guessing. Here they are on the I forgot the name of the ship. Bantu Wind, something like that, innit? Bantu something, with Captain Katanga, not Kananga from Live and Let Die. Captain Katanga, played by where the heck is he? Where the heck is he? I'm sure I've seen him in something else. Where is he? Oh, for Pete's sake. I've seen it here somewhere. There it is. George Harris. What have I seen George Harris in? Let me see. Raiders. Oh, aye. Yes. Harry Potter. Kingsley Shacklebolt in Harry Potter. Yes, that's probably what I've seen him in. I knew his face looked really familiar. But I'm sure I've seen him in something else as well. Let's have a look. Black Hawk Down, he were in that. So yeah, that might be where I'm remembering him from. Might be where I'm remembering his face from. Because he does have a very distinctive face. He's been in loads of stuff. He's been in Professionals, he were in The Sweeney. And all that cool stuff back in the day. As Francis Ford Coppola's, how you pronounce it, Dad Carmine told him, steal from the best. Okie dokie. Anyway, so here's Captain Katanga of the Bantu Wind. When they found this ship, Norman Reynolds and all them, the production designer, they found, the ship, the Bantu Wind. I don't think we're called that. It were all rusty and, looked a bit done in. So that'd be perfect for this film. And when they came back, however many months later, they found that whoever owned the ship had painted it. And it all looked lovely, nice, lovely blue and white, and all been done up, and it was smashing. I said, oh, for Pete's sake. So they had to go in and rough it up again. Make it look, more weathered. Anyway, so here we go. So obviously Katanga's obviously a friend of Salah's. And my cabin is theirs. Right, so gives him a hug. She gives him several kisses. And then he sings, I am the monarch of the sea. No, it's not that one, is it? No, it's a British tar, isn't it? Monarch of the Sea, well, with the dates, wasn't it? As free as a mountain bird. And all that stuff. Right, so they're underway. She's in another dress, another costume change for Marion that she's got off Katanga. So anyway, so he's checking his wounds. She's going to whack him in the chin. Of all the things that's in this film, we're going to see heads exploding and faces melting and people getting shot in the arm and punches in bullet holes and all that. That bit of the film makes me cringe more than any other. Right under the chin with a mirror. I bet that hurts. What do you say? Anyway, he's not well. He just wants to rest. So she's saying, where doesn't it hurt? And his elbow and his forehead and his lips. So she gives him a kiss. Then he falls asleep. And so she's not getting any that night. Not off Indy anyway. Meanwhile, the Ark is doing its funky stuff. We can hear this thrumming sound, which is Ben Burt did it with his, what do we call it, synthesizer, whatever you want to call it. The same machine that he did R2-D2's Beeps and Boops with. That's what he's done this sound with. And it's sending the rats mental. There we go. There we go. And it also burns off the German eagle and the Nazi symbol because it knows their bad luck. Right. So anyway, the ship stopped next morning, I'm guessing. Something's up. And here we are. It's Das Boot. It's Das Boot. And Castella. Daniel Garcia's here. Pandora's box. That is indeed what the Ark is, it turns out, doesn't it? Anyway, so here we are. So we're off the coast of France now, in real life. They're supposed to be in the Mediterranean somewhere, aren't they? Well, off the coast of Egypt, I imagine. But they're actually really off the Atlantic coast of France. In my audio commentary I did, I wasn't sure if they're on the Mediterranean coast or the Atlantic coast. It turns out they're off the Atlantic coast of France. And this submarine is actually the one from Das Boot, the Wolfgang Petersen TV series, mini-series, or whatever, that were edited into a movie, wasn't it? But this is the submarine from that. They rented it for this film and stuck a number 26 on. I don't think that's in Das Boot. I don't know. But anyway, here they are. They've found them. So Indy goes and hides. They capture Marion, get the Ark out of the hold, and probably some dead rats as well, maybe, if the rats are dead. I don't know. But anyway, Indy's hiding in this, whatever it is. I don't know what it is. Is it an exhaust from the engine room? I don't know. But what's at the bottom of it? I don't know. But he's hiding in there. We've got Marion. It looks cold, doesn't it? It's the Atlantic coast. I imagine it's a bit chilly. But anyway. This bloody little fly doing me head in. Go on. Go away. Go and be free somewhere. Stop bothering me. Gambit says the sound of the Nazi the sound of the Ark was created by Ben Burt using his ARP modular synthesizer. There you go. That was a real sub, correct? I'm not sure if it was a real sub. They kept referring to it as a model. So I don't know if it were actually a submarine that did submarine things. But it might have been. I don't know. But anyway, we're going to get to a scene about the sub in a bit. People often ask this question, what's going to happen in a bit. Anyway, right, so Katanga says he's killed, that's where Indiana Jones is. Says he killed him, but we can sell her somewhere. I don't know where they're going to sell her, but they're going to sell her. Leave us the girl, it will give us some profit. Said, oh, we will take what we wish and then decide whether or not to blow you from the water. Anyway, meanwhile, this fella throws his cigarette in there. And I was reminded, there was a film, wasn't there? I can't remember what film it was. But it was one of the Hot Shots films. I don't know whether they did this and it blew it up. That's it. Bit breezy, look. Bit breezy. But anyway, so off they go. And they said, they can't find Dr. Jones. And they said, search again. And said, I found him and he's here. There we go. He's on the submarine. And he climbs up to the conning tower. And he looks around. And you're thinking, what's going to happen now? And everybody else said, how's he going to... Does the submarine not submerge all the way to the island? And the answer is, it actually does. It does submerge, because there's a scene that they filmed, but obviously they must have cut it out, where you see Indy, obviously can't see it here, you see Indy hanging on to the periscope thing. So obviously they went the whole way at periscope depth, and he's hanging on to the periscope, which is why he's all wet when you see him in a minute. So they've gone a hell of a long way. I don't know how he survived it, because they're from somewhere. Hang on, does it show us where they started out? So they're there. So somewhere, that's Greece, isn't it? So they're somewhere like between Malta and Greece. Italy's up there somewhere. There, that's Crete. So they're off to this island, wherever it is. I don't know if is it based on an island. There it is. Looks like Tracy Island to me with Thunderbirds on. But so they arrive there. But this is in France. I can't remember. La Rochelle sounds familiar, but it's actually a submarine pen, World War II submarine pen that they found there. So that were cool that they could use that with the Das Boot. But anyway, we see Indy. There's Indy. See, he's all wet through. So that's he hung on to the periscope all the way there. So anyway, so here he is hiding, and they're taking the Ark to the ritual site for some reason. Anyway, Indy gets this fella. Hang on, where is he? We see Indy get a soldier. Have I missed it? I've gone too far, haven't I? Where are we? No, I can see him there. Hang on, I've gone too far. Where the hell is it? Indy gets a soldier. I'm probably missing it. Oh, for Pete's sake. He gets a sword, drags him over. Nobody sees him happen. He takes his uniform. It doesn't fit. Which I liked, because in films they're always getting uniforms and stuff, and they're always perfectly fit, don't they? So in this case it didn't. So anyway, an officer comes and starts berating him, so he beats him up and takes his uniform as well. Instead, should I say? Anyway, so off they go, leaving the U-boat there to go off to do Das Boot stuff. But here, I forgot his name. I forgot the name of Wolf Kahler's character. Cheer up, princess. Dietrich. There we go. Dietrich saying, do you want to go out? She does. My cat wants to go out. Just bear with me. Look at them two for a minute while I go let the cat out. Yes, you, cheeky monkey. You cheeky monkey. I'm back. She's out. Right, where were we? Oh, yes. Dietrich is worried about this Jewish ritual that Belloc says they've got to perform to open the Ark. It says, is it really necessary? And I'm not sure. Would Belloc feel the need to do the ritual, wearing all the paraphernalia as described in the Bible that you have to wear when opening the Ark? I mean, nobody else is. But you're supposed to wear all this in the presence of the Ark. That's why some people think it's radioactive, don't they? But you wouldn't think Belloc could be bothered about that. You'd think he'd just pry it open, wouldn't you? But anyway, whatever. So he says, Yes, we've got to look inside first before we take it to Berlin, just in case it's empty. But anyway, so off they go. Off they go. Oh, Indy bumps Belloc just for shits and giggles. Look, good job we didn't say Belloc didn't say take this man and execute him. Anyway. Gambit says it just happened. Wolfgang Peterson dashboard showed. Yes, I've just said all this. Oh dear. The pens were built well. We bombed them a lot and did very little damage. Well, good thing the Germans can do is build things, isn't it? Well, mate. He says to Indy, good afternoon, getting tired? Why are you sleeping? And where's your hat gone? Wash yourself or something. You don't want to get sticky at the court. Get up. Is that what it actually says? Is that the translation? Anyway. Right, it's off the go. Here we go, going through this this canyon. These are the canyons in Tunisia again. We're in Tunisia again. These are the canyons that we see in Star Wars. The canyon where R2 gets got by the Jawas, and the canyon where we first see Ben Kenobi. Where Ben Kenobi rescues Luke from the Tusken Raiders. Can't call them sand people anymore, can we? But anyway, so here they go. Indy is there bringing up the rear, ducks out of the way, grabs himself a bazooka. Here they go. There we go. Renee, I'm gonna blow it up. Hello, gonna blow it up. So he says, okay, but first, a fly. He's gonna eat a fly. There we go. Your position surprised me. Go on, watch this fly already. Watch this fly. Here we go. Is it gonna do it now? There we go. What's this? Does he swallow it or does it just fly away? I think it just flies away. People always say he swallows it. It goes in his mouth. It doesn't. It just flies. I think it just flies off. Anyway, so he says he's going to blow it up. He just wants Marion. So he calls his bluff. Does Belloc? He says, "Go on, blow it up then. Blow it back to God." And he won't, because he says, we are just passing through history. This is history, because he's French. Anyway, so obviously he doesn't, and they capture him. I don't know what his plan were after this. I don't know what his plan were after this. They just get captured. Maybe he's prepared to, I don't know, die. I don't know. But he's just that much wants to see what's in the ark. But then he tells Marion to close her eyes. Anyway, whatever. Right, so... Night time at Tracy Island. Come on, Gambit, what island's this? Because I don't know. Or is it a made-up one? It's a mysterious island. Anyway, so here they are at the ritual site, which kind of looks, I don't know, as though the rituals have happened there in days gone by, don't it? But anyway, here they are doing all their stuff. And he's saying his stuff in Hebrew. Is Belloc Jewish? Don't know. Probably not. But they're going to let these other fellas open it up. Why don't they just drop dead like Umar did? Or whatever he's called. I can't remember the fellow that did in the Bible. Windgrace says, the island of misfit toys. There we go. I don't think that bazooka was period right. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. Anywho, so they open it up. And there's nothing in, just sand. Look, they're all just sand. Look, go away, fly. Is it supposed to? Is it just the powdered remains of the tablets, the Ten Commandment tablets? I don't know, or is it something else? Who knows? But Totes thinks it's bleeding hilarious. And he's thinking, what's going on? What's going on? By the way, his staff is holding. We're going to get another look at it. Let me go back again. See him holding his staff up. I'm sure I've seen it in something else. There's no close-ups, is there? There we go. I'm sure I've seen this in something else, and I can't think what. It looks really familiar. I know I've seen it in this, but I mean, I've seen it elsewhere, and I don't know where. It does look really familiar, this staff with, ram's heads on the top. And I don't know where I've seen it. Anyway, so he does, PC. Does all this stuff. They open it up, nothing in, just sand, but then we hear that thrumming noise again from, hang on, I forgot what it was. From Ben Burt's. I'm scrolling back up to see what Gambit said. There we go. From Ben Burt's ARP modular synthesizer. That's making its noises. Just says, Big Bang always said, really, Indy didn't do nothing to stop the bad guys in the end. No, he didn't. I don't know what his plan was. I think rough drafts, he was part Jewish. All right, Belloc, fair enough. It's probably how he knows Hebrew. Or maybe he's just good with languages. I don't know, because he learned Hovitos, didn't he, at the beginning? But anyway. So, right, anyway, things that we hear, the thrumming noise that we heard earlier on, and all the electrics start blowing up and stuff, and I think rifles start shooting themselves, and all, they hear all these noises and stuff going off. And then Indy realises something is afoot, and I wish they'd done, I said this if you watch me, audio commentary, I did mention this in that, that it'd be nice if earlier on in the film somebody had said, Salah or Marcus Brody or somebody had said, you can't look upon what's inside the ark and live, or something along those lines. They should have said something like that, If anybody sees what's inside the ark, they will die. Do not gaze upon what rises from the ark, or something of that nature. There should have been that earlier on in the film, so that Indy knows now to close his eyes. But anyway, rough drafts were part Jewish. That's how he knew what to wear and speak. Well, it's in the Bible, isn't it? What he knew what to wear and speak. But anyway, Gambit says the night scene where the demons from the ark get the Nazis. At last, and electrocute them was shot presumably at Rochelle. I don't know. I thought it was in a studio. It looks like it's in a studio, but I don't know. Masters of the Universe. I don't. Oh, that is it? Maybe so. The staff is similar. Yes, the staff of Ra. Staff of Ram, because it got goat's heads on. I don't know. Illustrated light and magic. Do you mean industrial? I think your auto-correct got you there, Gambit. Anywho, right, so everything's kicking off, look. All stuff's going. He says, close your eyes, Marion. Don't look no matter what happens, because something's happening inside the ark. We see lights and stuff. There we go. And clouds, and things are going to come out of the ark. Rising up, look, out of the ark. And we're going to see they describe them as angels. I don't know if they're supposed to be angels, but I don't know, spirits of the ark or whatever start rising up out, along with lots of dry ice for effect. But here they come. That's it, done by ILM. Actually, most of them, apart from the one that you see the close up of the face, but all the others are like little puppets. With like cloths that were in a tank of water. They just swished them about in a tank of water and filmed them with funky filters and stuff to make them look kind of blurry or whatever. Out of this world. But anyway, off they go, and he's like, it's beautiful. There they are, all going round them. Ooh. But then Tote looks at one, and here comes. This is actually an actress who's looking at him, and the face turns all ugly. A bit like, I don't know, I think of these as being like the Vorlons from Babylon 5. You see what's in it's a reflection of you, what you're seeing. So I think that's what's going on here. They're seeing reflections of themselves. If they're evil, they're going to see something evil. And obviously they are evil. So anyway, so they turn into monsters and they start taking them out. And there we go. Here comes the flame coming up out of the ark. And now we're going to see the soldiers get taken out. Steven Spielberg wanted to have them to have their guts flying out everywhere. PG. But obviously that wasn't allowed, so they just had lights going through them. It does look cool, though. And, I don't know, kind of terrifying. Par-wraiths, that's what they are. Justin says... hang on. Wingrace says, sorry. Staff of dead false god. Yes. Teal could say... Just I always took as Indy knew because of his father. Bible explains some of what to wear, not all though. It's a lot of there'll be more in other works, the Talmud and stuff like that, I imagine. But yeah, I know Indy knew. We know Indy knew because he says, doesn't he? But for the sake of the film and clarity, they should have had it earlier on in the film, shouldn't they? A mention of, do not look upon what is in the ark. For thou'st will die, for thou'st will perish, or whatever. Anyway, so they're all copying for it, all the Nazis. Luckily, they're not watching. Tote's gonna... they all catch him in a scream. They weren't exactly sure what they were going to do with Steven Spielberg. He knew they were going to do something horrible with all of them. So, but he said, the last shots of them all, you're all going to be screaming. So they did all the scream. So here we go. And they've covered up Belloc's face with flames, because otherwise when his head blows up, which he's going to do in a minute, they've got an R rating. But anyway, here comes Tote Melty. Actually, I've missed a bit, haven't I? There we go. Is he going to blow up in a minute? Is he going to blow up now? Come on, blow up your head. Oh no. First, Dietrich's head, I don't know, shrinks. It looks cool, doesn't it? PG. Obviously a fake head, and they basically just sucked the air out of it, didn't they? That's what they did with that one. And Tote's melty head. Obviously they took casts of all the actors, obviously face casts, and made up his face in dental wax, and basically put a heat lamp on it and melted it. I think they said it took about 10 minutes, and they just filmed it. At 1 frame a second, and it looks like that. But if you notice, it's not just that. You see his eyes roll back in his head. Let's go back a bit. Look, his eyes are there, and then as his face melts, his eyes roll back in his head. You can actually buy candles of these, can't you? Which I won't want to spend loads of money buying candles of these and then light them, because I don't want to, because they're probably expensive. But anyway. Justin says, this always reminded me of the Poltergeist and Ghostbusters. It's very similar style of effects. It's 80s effects in it. But obviously this came first, didn't it? This was first. Rent Asunder. School bit was shot at Hertfordshire, whereas Peru was shot at Hawaii. As I said earlier on, in the... end credits, so I think parts of it might have been in Peru, because it says Peru/Hawaii crew, so maybe parts of it were actually shot in Peru, I don't know, but yes, on Kauai. I give them a pass because of part 3. Give them a pass because of part 3. Indy is smart and does not blab. Gambit says, British actor Denham Elliott plays Indy's advisor brother was gay. I don't think he was. I'm sure he wasn't. I don't think he was. But I'll take your word for it, but I don't think he was. This and Return of the Living Dead had these great effects. I can't remember. I've seen Return of the Living Dead, but I can't remember. Just bear with me. He's been married twice, if he were gay. He was bisexual, secretly bisexual. There we go. Actors. Anyway. So there we go. Melty Tote. Cool stuff. PG. And then all the flames come out the ark. They're not watching still. I'd have peeked and died instantly. The flames take up all the Nazis and Belloc up into the sky for some reason, and then back down into the ark again. So I'm guessing they're all trapped in the ark now. It's like the Phantom Zone for all the Nazis. They're all like going, "Aah!" with their melty faces. Anyway, so then it's all over. And everything's back to normal. But now they've got to find a way to get off this bleeding island. I'm getting to the call in the Navy. They must do, the American Navy. Because remember, there's still a bloody German U-boat there with a full crew, I imagine, and loads of people manning that submarine pen. But anyway, whatever. They get off the island somehow. Cut to Washington, D.C. Period Washington, D.C. Where They want to know where the Ark is. They're being given loads of money by the US government. And but the Ark is nowhere to be seen because top men are working on it. They say the Ark should be studied. It says it will be. I assure you, Dr. Brody, Dr. Jones, we've got top men on it. And I said this in the audio commentary. Is that the fella from Jaws? You know, the medical examiner who says, we'll have to alter our records or whatever. Is that? I don't know. I'm going to see. I'm going to look down in the cast list, see if he's there as uncredited. I don't know what it'll be classed as. Screaming German soldier. It's not him, obviously. I don't know. Hang on. It'd be easy if I looked in Jaws, wouldn't it? Just let me look for Jaws. It does look like him. It's probably not him, but I've got it in my head that it is now. In my head canon. So I'm going to look it up. Just bear with me. We're live and I don't care. Right. Who am I looking for? Medical examiner. Robert Nevin. Right. Has he been in Indiana Jones? Raiders of Lost Ark? No. He hasn't. It's not him. All right. So stop saying it's him. He was in the Dunwich Horror, though. An Airplane. So there you go. Oh, he was in Jaws. Yes. No, he is there. I'm blind. Yes, he is. It is. Jaws, medical examiner as Dr. Robert Nevin. And then he's in Raiders of the Lost Ark as an intelligence agent, uncredited. Right. Yes. It is him. That's him from Jaws. I were right. I wonder why he's in it then. It must be a friend of Steven Spielberg. Or maybe he just happened to be in town at the time. I don't know. But anyway. By the way, the Washington footage is from Hindenburg, 1975. Oh, very good. I didn't know that. Anyway. So is this why the USA became the superpower? Because we all know that the Ark of the Covenant is nuclear, isn't it? Oppenheimer, he was a top man with Oppenheimer working on it. Because I am become Death, the destroyer of worlds. William Hootkins, is that his nickname? Boot. Yes, I did mention that earlier on. Anyway, so they're not getting the Ark. They've got loads of money instead. So he goes out. Her being a raging alcoholic, as I said at the beginning, she's going to buy him a drink because she can't help herself. But she does brush up well. So off they go, and this is where we see what happens to the Ark that's in a crate. I'm sure the cigarette smoking man from X-Files is somewhere in the background making notes about all this. And they shove it in. Well, we learn that it's in Area 51, don't we, in Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I think it's in Hangar 18 as well. But there, off it goes. Amongst all the other crates, there's probably other stuff in there from history, such as, I don't know, Count St. Germain and not the Holy Grail, because he ain't got that yet, has he? And other stuff. What's happening over here? What's there? I've never sat and looked what's in this. It's obviously a matte painting, so is there anything that we can make out? Well, I want to know what that is. Are they flying saucers over there? Bet they are. Anyway. So there we go. That's the end of the film anyway. So that ends on a weird note, doesn't it? An ambiguous note. Now time to watch Warehouse 13. I've never seen that. Never seen Warehouse 13. Pardon me. First assistant director Dave Tomblin was bit by the python in the Well of Souls scene. And it wouldn't let go of his arm. It bit onto him. Luckily, pythons aren't venomous, but it bit onto his arm. It wouldn't let go. Apparently, the snake wrangler came along, just grabbed the python by the end of the tail, and so like whipped it, like they went with it, and it let go. So there you go. But Dave Tomblin's that super famous first assistant director. He's done everything. He's been in like loads of huge films, and even like Space 1999. He's done like movies and TV and stuff like that. He's everywhere, is Dave Tomblin. Anyway, Gambit says the whole film is fantastic. Yay, love that ending. It is cool. Ding, 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 ding. And I always watch all the credits because of the music. There's not many films where I just sit through the credits and just to listen to the music. Empire and this. There's not many others. Great movie. I like all the indie films. There's three. There's three Indiana Jones films, to be honest. The other two, don't bother. Dave Tomley created the Amblin logo, did he? Oh, right. If you say so, I don't know. But I thought he was a director, not a designer. Anyway. Great sequels. The original trilogy. Yes, the original trilogy. Never mind the other two. They can take or leave them. Anyway, so that's it. That's the end of... oh, look, she's there, look. Making coffee and bad ideas. So there we go. That's the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. One of the greatest films of all time. It deserves its place in the National Film Registry. It is really, really good. And they've not faffed with it, have they? Like Steven Spielberg, he famously faffed with E.T., didn't he? And faffed a bit with Close Encounters. Made some changes. I don't think this has been altered at all, has it? Apart from CGing out the reflection of the Cobra in the glass. But anyway, right. So there we go. That's the end of that film. You can watch it on. I forgot. I imagine you can rent or buy it. It's in the description. I put it there. You can rent or buy it on YouTube and Amazon Prime. I think I'll put it there in the description. Or you can bloody get your hand in your pocket as well. Buy the Blu-rays. It's out. It'll be out on 4K. I imagine. Is it? Is it out on 4K? I don't know, but I can't tell the difference between 4K and Blu-ray. Anyway, Justin says he's got a soft spot for the fourth one. I don't hate it. It just kind of annoys me. Does Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. But I can watch it, but it's not a patch on the first three. They sort of just left it. That it ended, didn't it? End of Last Crusade, they were riding off into the sunset. Should have just left it at that. But they couldn't, could they? Anyway, never mind. Right, so we're all done. We're all done and dusted. We will leave it there. No, fourth counts. It was a natural progression for the franchise by the serial style. I disagree, Justin. So there. Put them up. Yes. Fourth one's all right, but it goes weirder with much swinging vines. Yeah, that bit. And the bit where he's the sword fight on the moving trucks, where he's doing the splits. You see where they got the idea, didn't they, for Thor in Thor Love and Thunder. But anyway. You can't make an indie film that isn't fully practical. Not these days, you can't. Not these days. Anyway, so that's it. We're all done. So go and watch that. If you haven't watched it before, where have you been for the last 40 million years? Anyway. One of the greatest films ever made. At least the greatest action-adventure, earthbound action-adventure film ever put to celluloid. Top-notch stuff. The 50s shit with CGI going on. It's not good, is it? It's not good. The Dial of Density, which I have got on Blu-ray just for completion's sake. But anyway. Right, what's coming up next? Monday. Friday appointment with Fear. Wednesday, if I fit, might not do, but it'll either be season 7 of Deep Space Nine or it'll be top 5 favourite movies of 1999. I might not finish Deep Space Nine. I'm struggling to get through it for some reason. I don't know why. But I thought it was time for Friday Night Appointment with Fear to get the old Hammer box set out. And we're doing a double bill. Put that down, it's heavy. We're doing a double bill. We're doing Dracula from 1958, a.k.a. Horror of Dracula, so it's US title, and Dracula, Brides of Dracula. But Dracula's not in that one. But never mind, it's still a good film. So we're doing a Hammer horror double bill on Friday for Appointment with Fear. So that should be fun. Gambit says, I don't like Thor Love and Thunder. Neither do I. It's the only one of the MCU films that I've seen I've started that I've never got all the way through. I hate that film. It is awful. Justin says the fifth one on the first 50 minutes in the past was good. Rest terrible. Sorry, Steve, I stand on the phone. It's fine. It's fine. Cammy says, in fact, I don't like the rubbish right now that Hollywood is doing. Not many people do. Hopefully it'll get better soon. I think we're getting like the dregs, aren't we, of the woke era, you know, from that time. The finishing off stuff from that time. And then from now on we're going to... New stuff, maybe it'll be good. Maybe I'm being too positive. Wingray says, Brides of Bacula, Count Bacula. If they could somehow recut Love and Thunder into an earnest drama, well, it would be good. Maybe so. But at the moment, the cut now, the Taika Waititi cut is unwatchable in my opinion. I can't. It's awful. Right, so we're all done and dusted. We'll leave it there because it's 10 to 12 at night for me, so I'm off to bed. Right, so thanks Wingrace, and thanks Justin, and thanks Gambit. Did anybody else pop in? I don't think they did they? And thanks Justin for the super chat. It's hugely appreciated. So we'll leave it there. Justin says Wednesday is no YouTube day for me this week. You do right. You do right. I sometimes take days off. I sometimes take days off, but I don't turn my computer on at all, and it's cool. But anyway, so we'll leave it there. We will leave it there. So thanks for watching. Hang on, I'll put this back on so I can remind you. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share the videos. That came out loud, didn't it? Sorry. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share the videos and drop a comment. Hit the notification bell, all that stuff. Explore the description for links where you can see this film that we just reviewed and all that stuff and blah, 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 blah. Right. So, I shall go now. So, we will leave it there. Hang on. I'm all a dither now because I'm losing my voice. Excuse me. Right, I'm going. So, thanks for watching wherever you are. Look after each other. Until next time, I'll see thee.